Holy technical rehearsals, we are live. Welcome to the Chain Dogs podcast, where we talk about everything theme parks, amusement parks, all around the world. Yes, thank you for joining us. If you are listening to this on podcast form, then just to let you know that we do this every Wednesday at 8 p.m. over on the Chain Dogs podcast YouTube channel. Get involved in the comments. Yes, we are back. We are back. Emma's going to be here very shortly.
We did not. Well, just putting this out there, we did not clickbait any of you.
Yeah,
She's
no,
on her way. She will
Emma
give her
is-
thoughts on Valhalla.
I know Emma is home, but she's just sorting
Psych! She ain't here.
She's actually still on Valhalla.
Yeah,
she's been
she's
she's
going round.
Valhalla for
She's
like
still in
hours.
line.
She's waiting for an
Yeah.
evac. It's happening.
Yes, Emma is home, but she's just getting things sorted. She'll be on shore.
Hannah, we dropped Emma on 5 minutes ago.
Don't worry, she will reveal all very shortly.
I can't wait.
But yeah, how are we all doing? We all doing good?
We're good. We're back again.
Yes, we are back.
Bit of a headache.
So
but I'm alright.
Yeah,
You'll be good.
So we
Yeah,
had
yeah, I'm good.
we had last week off, but in our defense, we did do a Sunday show, so we didn't actually miss an episode. So
Yeah, to be fair, we didn't. No.
If anything, we just gave you it early.
Yeah. Fuck you.
So what is the chat saying? Again, if you're just joining, Emma is coming. I need to put up a little banner. Emma is joining us shortly. Everyone's just going to click off. Yeah, so we got Tom in the chat. We got Mark in the chat. We got Beer Break. Hannah, wet as a mop. Thanks for that. Thanks for that. We got Iona.
I squeezed
We
them.
got Neil. We got Emma.
Oh!
Hey!
There she is.
You dried off
made
now?
it. No,
Well done.
I am moist.
Moist. We should have just called this episode Moist, right?
Yeah.
Moist.
Yeah.
Moist.
Well, when we all do get on it eventually.
I said it in the I said it in the chat maliciously moist.
Mm.
Maliciously moist.
I mean, we'll get into it. But what made me laugh? What made me laugh is people rating how wet you get on it. I'm like, it's Valhalla. We know you're getting wet.
Yeah.
We don't care how wet you're getting. Tell us about the actual ride.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's
Legit.
been so funny is that it seems like apparently there's been barely any like opinions like posted on Twitter or anything. So everyone's got cruises. It's just like we want to know. We want to know we don't want to know how good it is.
Everyone's been like, you go first.
Yeah.
You say first.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you want to tell them?
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Ugh.
Yeah, but there we go.
That was a noise.
That was a noise. Oh, I can't wait till we get onto Valhalla.
I
Oh.
should tell you everything you need to
I
know.
just excuse the fact that I like a bag of dicks. The weather in Blackpool today has been horrendous. It's like gale force winds, and it just rained in my face all day.
What
And
a
then-
perfect day for opening a water ride.
And then as I came off Valhalla, I was just dripping. So I just thought,
Yeah.
you know what? I've just brushed my hair. That's all you're getting.
sounds about on brand for Pleasure Beach, honestly. Like,
It was biblical weather.
Sean, I have a photo of me lying on the floor and you holding my hand at Drayton. It sounds about right.
Is that like a party bingo reference? I don't know.
I'm gonna guess because I don't remember that.
I've heard
Yeah.
things about that place.
But hello, Logical Dodger.
should we just get this out of the way? And
Shall we just
What?
do it?
Yeah.
What do you
fuck
wanna do it?
Fuck it.
Even
just do it.
ride sims are getting involved. Come
I
on.
hope that's a real ride sim.
Wow.
Everyone's on edge, mate.
Everyone's here for the tea.
Everyone wants
Yeah.
to know what happened.
Just
Yeah.
didn't know they were logged in as ride sims. Then.
Hold on.
There we
Or
go.
should we just leave it till the end of the episode?
You're gonna have to watch the whole hour to find out.
Yeah, we'll do what all the other YouTubers do. Stick
yeah.
around to the end. Make sure you subscribe. Put the notifications on. You don't want to miss Emma talking about
If you
Valhalla.
don't subscribe, I ain't telling you.
Yeah, subscribe everyone.
Oh,
like
there you
the
go.
Video. Like
Now.
the video.
We need 50
Get to
likes
50
before
likes.
we tell you.
Yeah.
Get off our stream and go subscribe.
Iona said, I feel like there have been so much secrecy regarding people's thoughts. Emma, please tell us.
Because I feel like people's thoughts, who I've spoken to today, have all had the same thoughts. So
Yeah.
it's been a bit. "Ooh."
except the select few who'll always have the same thought.
Did everyone
Well-
sign an NDA before riding?
Yes.
I was trying to think of something witty.
Okay, let's just
Okay.
shall,
Go on.
shall we do?
I'm
shall-
just
shall we do-
picturing Amanda running around with NDAs now.
Shall we do?
Time.
Shall we do? Titatis or Valhalla first? What should we do?
Let's get Valhalla out of the way.
Let's do Valhalla.
Get Valhalla.
I think the
Yeah.
chat
Yeah,
wants
yeah,
Valhalla.
I want to introduce it this way though. Emma, where the fuck's Valhalla?
Oh, it's there.
Oh,
Okay, so I'm not going to give too much away, obviously, but just my general thoughts on the situation. Obviously, everyone's gone into the ride today knowing that it is a technical rehearsal.
it's back the banner.
We can finally talk about it now.
You know, it's a technical rehearsal, so I wasn't expecting it to be all singing or dancing, but I expected something, and something I did not get.
Oh,
First of all, when we got it the first time, we actually got evac'd on just before the first lift hill, so that was nice because we got to go backstage, and that was lovely. But then 10-15 minutes, we did get back on it, and it was maybe 80% pitch black. The actual, as you go in, there was a couple of new set pieces, and the lift hill was nice. There was a few little new bits on the lift hill, so I was like, "Ooh," and that was it. No effects worked whatsoever.
Right.
They have a lot of the old effects are still in there, the ones that we all loved, like the
Right.
hammers are still in there, and
Oh, that's good.
but
oh,
they
good.
don't work. They don't work. They
Oh.
don't move.
Yeah, it's hard to tell, isn't it? Was this just your run through, or is this like, I don't know? We need people who.
Well,
Loads of
everyone.
Oh no!
Not
Oh,
now!
no.
Oh, you're back. You're
Moving,
back.
moving,
You're back.
moving.
Sorry, you
Fuck,
just
go.
dropped out then. You dropped out then.
Hold
Oh
on, you're on
No!
no! This is not planned.
No.
Hold on.
Lola,
Oh.
get off.
Yeah.
Get off the internet.
This is important.
I've literally just texted Lola. Was like, stop watching Netflix. Yeah.
Sorry.
So there is quite a few new scenes in there. Can you hear me? All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you now, yeah.
Hello. Oh,
Hello.
Hello.
there's quite a few new scenes in there, but the scenes that they had, in my opinion, are naff. If that's the best way to put it.
What'd you say? What? In what way? Like just.
They just aren't very good quality. For example, the ice room.
I
used
feel
to
like
love
you.
the
I
ice
feel like
room.
you're holding back from saying something you really want to say.
Yeah.
No, I'll get there.
This
I'll
is
get there.
the main dog podcast.
Emma does not
Um,
hold back.
That's why I'm surprised.
The ice room is no longer. It's still an ice room, but it's
Yeah.
not cold. They've taken out everything that's good and put in what I can only describe as hot ice mannequins. So just like lovely ladies with some string lights on them, and at the side there's like a little foam machine that kind of spaffs out a bit of foam at the side,
Oh,
so you don't get
God's
snowed on anymore.
sake, man.
There's no change in temperature through the whole ride. We didn't get any fire. Obviously the top of the backwards drop is blocked off. All that was in there to replace that was 2 red LED lights, which I assume was supposed to be a face like eyes, but there was nothing around the lights.
Like that photoshopped image we saw.
I'm trying not to give too much away.
I was going to say,
It's
It's still
like
very
there's
wet.
much to give away, to be fair.
could you see like, I mean, we do know fire is there. I'm going to say that we do know that fire is.
Yeah, I've been told that a couple of people had
yeah.
fire today.
Yeah,
I
and
didn't get
we
any.
saw like, I think I saw a
Snapping
video the
phone.
other day of like fire going off in the site. You could see like the fire working.
There's lots of pretend fire, as in like, you know, lighting and red lights and smoke that's supposed to simulate fire. There's a lot of that.
Mm,
They seem, in my opinion, they've blown the budget on steam. There's a lot of steam.
right.
It's very steamy. Give them that. There's a lot
Which
of
is
steam.
not great for people with glasses.
And
No, you're not
and
safe
not
on
the
goal,
fun
mate.
steamy.
You'll be like, "Ah, burp, 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 burp," all the way around.
Yeah.
yeah, all I can say is, in my opinion, they've taken out the best bits of Valhalla and replaced them with some not so good bits.
Right.
It's
Okay.
like I said, it's a technical rehearsal, so I might go back and ride it in 2 months' time and just eat my words completely.
I think I'm gonna wait. I can't.
But
I
we have
cannot go in there.
spoken.
Yeah.
We did speak to some tech guys today who said that they have been signed off and told to collect their things and not working on it anymore. So that doesn't look good because nothing works. And then somebody else also said that they spoke to staff who have said, "Oh yeah, it's finished." Oh,
This is my. Right. Okay. That's interesting because I've not even said. I kind of shared this. I don't know if I shared this with you, but I saw that there wasn't the BBC there, like national media there.
no, not today.
Not today.
We were told that they were going to be there, but I didn't see anything.
But there was media there. That's what I was told anyway. But maybe because I was saying if the national media turn up and they're invited down to the park, then in my eyes it's open, right? Like you wouldn't put out a national story when it's like technical rehearsals. So okay, maybe if there wasn't there, then that's okay.
All I'd say is if you're going to ride it, don't ride it now, because I came off it and I was so deflated when I got off it. Don't get me wrong, I wasn't expecting to be blown away, but I wanted something and I didn't get anything. And I was just, apart from being absolutely piss wet through, that the last drop is an absolute killer for water. I'm just telling you, it's horrendous. I'd actually managed to stay relatively dry until that last section.
Right.
But yeah, I just say wait, and I hope that they do get it all going. Because, like I said, I'd love to go back and ride it and just say I was wrong. You know, it was just a bad day. I was wrong. But if it just looks, the new scenes to me, they just look. It gives Christmas at Garden Centre vibes.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. That's the thing in my, like, obviously things aren't going to work, but what you did see did not impress you. So the things that you could actually see didn't look great. So it's not like you're saying you're writing it off because the effects aren't working, but you're just saying like, well, they've taken out the good stuff and.
But that's just my opinion. You guys could look at it and go, I thought it looked really nice. In my opinion, I loved Valhalla beforehand. Even when it wasn't fully working, it was still a great ride.
It was.
I mean, let's face it. Half the ride when it was broken was pitch black anyway. So like the fact that there's quite a few people saying that it's in a worse state than when it was broken, when it's just had 4 years worth of work.
£4 million.
That's my thing.
It's mad, right?
What I will say is they put in a brand new trough. So the water doesn't pour over the sides of the boats anymore, which is a good thing. However, the boats are still ankle deep in water. So you're going to get really wet feet. They've put in a whole new safety system and, they've spent a lot of money on the actual main workings of the ride, if that makes sense. It just seems to me like they didn't leave a lot of money for theming and effects.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
My expectations for this ride are on the floor. And always have been. But that's my thing about it. It's been closed for 4 years.
Yeah, that's why I expected
it
something.
Still looks unfinished. People are saying that it's been rushed, or just like this opening has been rushed. All of that. They've had 4 years. What the fuck have you been doing?
That's my opinion. Like I said, they have changed things, so they've done something. But in my opinion, that something isn't as good as what it was.
Yeah.
So I came off feeling really deflated.
But I just feel like even if effects were not working, you should be able to see like where the money's gone. Like you'd be able to I mean, it's a bit harsh. You can't. No spoilers here, but Curse, for example, people didn't have some people were just like, oh, this thing didn't trigger, that didn't think, you know, people on the opening day were saying, and we expect that to happen, but you could kind of still see where the money
What's
had
in
gone.
and where
You
it's
can
gone.
you can still
Yeah.
get an idea of the
Yeah.
general
You could follow the
Yeah,
story.
yeah.
approach of the story, approach of the
Yeah.
attraction, and everything.
Yeah.
Like,
That's another thing. I didn't hear any of the new soundtrack throughout the ride. There was audio, but it was too quiet. And there was,
We got rid of it.
they started to tell a story, but then it just kind of dropped off halfway through the ride. Whether it just wasn't turned up,
that
they
must have just
started a
been
story.
yeah, that must have been a effects thing. So I guess, yeah, that's it. Like, at the end of the day, we know it's a technical rehearsal. All Emma can do is share her opinion of what she experienced.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
At the
I did
same
feel
time- at the
really
sa-
harsh, but
well, at the same time, like, if you don't want enthusiasts to review your ride, don't open it.
Don't do a technical rehearsal with you. Just keep
No,
sending your staff round. It's
People can't be mad of you just sharing your opinion. Like, that's
No.
that's just what it is.
it makes me feel better because I did when I have like vlogged the day a little big, and on my
Yeah.
vlog I've given a bit of a review. And when I'd finished it, I thought, shit, I've been a bit harsh. But then I spoke to other people who have just been said exactly the same thing.
you can't be
A couple-
harsh off your own experiences, Emma.
Well, that's it. And then I spoke to other enthusiasts and other vloggers who, because we stood at the exit of the ride, and a lot of them got off, and I was like, "What do you think?" And they all just collectively were like, "What the fuck was that?"
Yeah.
And it
all for some golden ticket awards hack to come over here for one day and be like, oh, it's still the best water ride.
It's the best-
And just
dark
get,
ride.
get the
Like I
fuck-
said, I can ride it again and
yeah.
be blown away.
I'm behind it though in terms of when it was open. It's still like one of the best water in like dark riding. I mean, it hasn't got anything on Chap House. Don't get me wrong, but like, what else is there really in terms of like? I mean, I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah,
Was it
like I
was
say,
it what was it
I
water ride they had?
It
for
was
Golden
dark
Cross?
ride, wasn't
or
it?
dark
Dark
ride in
ride.
It
general?
was dark ride. It wasn't even water based. It was just
Yeah,
dark ride.
it was dark ride as
Yeah.
well.
Okay, that's pretty mad.
It was dark
Yeah,
ride
no,
as well.
Okay, I thought it was like water
I
dark
forgot.
ride. I didn't realize. that.
Tragic.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, so my opinion, all in all, would be wait and hope that it gets better. And like I said, I want to ride it in a month's time and eat my words. That's all I could hope for.
Fucking hell, lads. Oh, that's hilarious. I'm not reading that out, but that's funny. Look at the chat.
so that's why they were trying to
Wow.
that's why they were trying to crack down on vloggers, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, like, I don't want this to be like a hate on Pleasure Beach. I love Pleasure
No,
Beach.
I feel
It's
awful
literally,
because
like,
I love Pleasure Beach, but I can
yeah.
only be honest.
We-
And
we-
I
like,
just
we-
wasn't
What it
impressed.
is. It's what it is.
we've said our love for Pleasure Beach enough times in the podcast. We're not.
Yeah.
We are not like it is one of my favorite places to go in the world. Like, it's crazy, like, but it is like it is
And
one of the my favorite
It's
places to go.
because we all love Pleasure Beach,
Yeah,
which is why we're
There it
obliged
is.
to be completely honest
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
assessments of things.
I stood there for 2.5 hours today in biblical wind and rain. Like, I wanted it to be good, man.
yeah.
I just stood there 5-6 hours if I had to. Like, when we got evac, I was like, I'll wait here till the end of the day if that's how long it's going to take.
Mm.
Yeah.
I wanted
Well-
it.
Because like at the end of the day, us, not just us, but the general public, we have so much more access visually to other experiences, other theme parks around the world.
Mm.
We can much easier get an idea of
Mm.
you know, leading attractions, dark rides, water rides, whatever kind of rides. We can get a much clearer idea, much easier of what they're supposed to consist of.
Mate, I was in Park Asterix at the weekend, and I'm not kidding you. Like, I had to snap out of it, but I saw someone's post on Twitter from Pleasure Beach in the sun, and I was like, "Oh God, I kind of want to be there." No, shut up! I'm in Park Asterix. Shut the. But just seeing FY4, like, but that's a personal thing, you know. I do enjoy like a sunny Pleasure Beach, but yeah. Anyway,
Oh, yeah, there's a question quickly before we move on. Did you see anything
Yeah.
interesting during your evac?
It was
Looking
actually
back on
really
it.
fun. Like, it was the best bit for me because we were literally at the bottom of the first lift hill. So, like,
Best
the back
bit was
door
getting off.
literally behind us. And we sat there for about 10-15 minutes with the lights on so we could kind of see until they came and got us off, and they kind of taken us for a side door, and we ended up behind the waterfalls.
yeah.
through a few inside bits, and then right round the back, we got fucking pissed on with water. As you can imagine, it's all coming back to the water.
Yeah.
That was well cool. Like
Yeah.
I loved it. It was really,
That's
really
cool.
good.
Nice. Okay, but yeah, all in all, let's basically just hold out until you can. Yeah, I don't think we'll be doing it till May. Me and Joe won't.
I ain't going back on it. If I go
No.
before May, I ain't doing it. I'm waiting.
No. I want to experience it like the best it can possibly be.
And then
Part of me does say, like me and Mikey were saying it the way home in the car, we were like, when we go as like a full squad, I'd love for you to get the ride that we got because I want to hear all the noises and opinions that come out. I was like, I hope they get a really shitty ride just so I can hear everybody be like, what the fuck is
You'll
going
have to
on?
let us know when you're going, Sean, in May.
Who is it
Yeah.
that's just?
Yeah.
I think your experience guide has just posted their video review on it on
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah.
I still need to watch that and probably laugh my head off from start to finish.
Yeah, I know that Mikey's put his out. I know that Lift Hills and Frills put theirs out, and Scott, you like you say, has just put theirs out. So if you want to listen to theirs, they might have a different opinion, but I doubt it.
Yeah, I don't think Scott has a different opinion.
No, it doesn't sound
No.
like it. Right.
Anyway, let's talk about something more interesting, shall we?
So, Two Tatties opened at on Saturday.
Whoop.
We were there. Well, I say we, me and Joe, and some other people were there.
Yes, I was,
Not
I
us
was
collectively.
also there. I
FOMO.
Um,
I was there in spirit.
We're there in spirit. We're there on Twitter.
yes, but we.
I'm with you in Twitter.
But yeah, so we went there for the opening day. I don't know where to start really. Where do I start? And so yeah, we got there. We drove, and then we got there on the Friday. Went on the Saturday. The opening, like I expect, even though there's quite a lot of people there. I mean, go watch our vlog over on Parksville if you haven't seen it after the show, obviously.
Go watch it.
But it shows like the crowd and stuff. But it wasn't that mad. Like it wasn't that bad, to be honest. We got there at like about 9ish or 9:15, and we were like pretty much near the turnstiles because they had like multiple queues. And we were like straight in, basically. Held us until about 10 o'clock in this other part in the park, and then there was like an initial rush, but most people kind of like ran the sides by the sides rather than trying to like push through the whole crowd. So we had quite a good experience in that way. And then the thing is, Joe had to get her one. She was on 198 in terms of creds, and she wanted to get her 200th as Two Tatties on the opening day. So we went and did the bobsled coaster, which is right next to it. But yeah, in terms of the whole area, Festival Two Tatties, it's like absolutely beautiful. You've probably all seen the photos and stuff. Like they've done an incredible job.
I cannot wait until the trees have all grown back in.
Yeah, honestly, it already looks.
See what
But
it's
you know,
like.
like
Oh,
when
it's
you
gonna
go,
look
when you
so
go to a new area and you're like, oh, this will look brilliant when it's all grown over. It already looks amazing. Like it doesn't even feel like it's bare. Do you know what I mean? It just it nothing feels. I mean, the queue line for Two Tatties, it's kind of like decking and it's like elevated and it goes all the way around.
That's
And,
cool.
you can see where they've planted all the trees and foliage, but it already looks really, really nice. But yeah, so because we went on a little bit later than everyone else, we was like bumping into people, and some people were like, "Oh yeah, it's okay, it's good, it's a good ride." And the main opinion wasn't like it was a world-class ride, basically. But like when we went on it, which I say was about 11:30, I think. Oh my god! Like I went on it, and that thing was flying, man. Like it was, mate. When at 11:30, it was going around the track the same as Condor was at the end of the day. When I did it, it was insane, and I didn't expect the first half to be anywhere near as punchy. You know, just before you go the LSM, you come out of the station, LSM launch. I thought that was going to be more like a boost, where it's not like a mad launch, don't get me wrong, but like it flies you into it. Yeah, and then that kind of overbank like feels way more faster than it looks off ride. Like it looks like it takes it slow, but on ride,
Just
it
off of
feels
that
like,
first launch, like
Yeah.
it looks like it looks like obviously it's supposed to not slow roll through the like
Yeah.
cutback, but like there's supposed to be hang time there.
Mm.
The little entry into that, just like straight off the first launch, it looks like it hits that with a bit of punch. Looks like
Yeah.
it looks like it takes that pretty quick before, you know,
Yeah.
going slower through the cutback. So that looks it's like an interesting change in
Yeah, it's just
sensation.
like straight away. Like honestly, that ride does not give up. Like, and then I mean, everyone's seen the clips of it doing on the main stretch of the LSMs. Like, it is rapid, man. It's so intense. Like, when you yeah, it's just I don't know. If the only way I can describe it is if you've done Conda, it takes all the good bits from Conda, but then just like throws in like it's like the best of all Intamins, in my opinion. It's like the best hits, basically. Yeah.
Oh, you mean like a okay? I was gonna say.
Like, no, it's not the greatest hits of Intamin, in my opinion. What I've done, what I've
Now that's what I
personally
call
Yeah, yeah.
intermittent.
yeah. And I had one ride in it. And
23.
this is,
You're not saying it's the best Intamin. You're saying it's
No,
the
no.
best of each. Like
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Personally, all
Okay,
the
okay.
stuff I like from Intamins, they pack
Right.
it on here.
got you.
Like, you know, where, you know, on Taran, I'm like, I love Taran, but like, I'm like, it could do with this, could do with that. You know, it's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
everything. I'm like, if with that, it's just so good. And I thought I was like, I come off it and I didn't know what to think, but there's a few people I spoke to, and I was like, I know Velocicoaster is an amazing coaster and probably, you know, objectively a better coaster, but I enjoyed Tutatis like way more. Like, and every time I rode it.
Yeah,
it
so let's
just-
get into that. Like, when you say
Mm.
you enjoyed it more,
Yeah.
what did you enjoy more? What do you think went into you enjoying it more?
I just think like with I know this is going to trigger people, man, but you got to remember, everyone, I'm not just about you guys in the chat, like everyone experiences coasters so differently. Like you
Yep.
can't explain it. But for me, it was just more exciting. Like I think for me, Velocicoaster doesn't really get interesting until that second launch, and that's quite a lot of that coaster. That takes up quite a lot of that coaster's track, and that's what I always thought with Velocicoaster. And we did that probably about 15 times when we was there. You know, I got a lot of rides in there. You know, morning, middle of the day, night time. I got a lot of rides in on it. And I did 4 rides altogether on Tutatis, and that's what I based my opinion on. But it was just like more fun. That's all I can say. It was more fun. It felt. It's hard to really explain why that is. Like, you can drill down on the scientific stuff and like what the layout is. What is that noise?
Is someone having an earthquake?
I don't know.
Your mic's
your
like rattling around,
mic.
McCall.
Oh wait, is it this?
Yeah,
is it
it's that.
is it me? Yeah.
And it's got a lot louder as well.
Yeah, it's gone well loud.
But that's
I apologize.
but that's it really. Like, I think the you know, it is intimate. It's Intamin's steepest coaster, isn't it? Like, in terms of the drop.
yeah.
Like that when you get over that top hat is insane. But that spike, for example, if you're on the back of that, it's insane. But one of the things I also love about it is that apart from the spike and when you finally actually go over the top hat, it doesn't matter where you sit on that train. Like, it delivers in every single row.
Yeah.
Like, and to me, that's quite a rare thing for a coaster. And we rode it. I did it 4 times, but it was in a different position each time. And we even got a very back row on it. And that was where it really hit over the top. And plus, like, going on the spike as well, like getting a massive view of the whole place. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Did the
But, like-
trims on the top hat hinder the drop at all?
You know what? I've heard people say this. I didn't even notice them. Like, I literally did not notice them trims at all. Like, every time I come off it, everyone's like, "What do you think of it?" Like, some people are saying, "What do you think of the trim?" I was like, I did not notice it, to be honest. Like, because like you're not taking it at a massive speed anyway.
Yeah.
You're like literally just climbing over the top of it. Maybe if I did it now, I'd probably try and make a mental note of it. But no, I didn't. But yeah, I don't know. That's it really. But it's just a brilliant coaster. Everyone's going to have the different opinions, but for me, it's solidly a top 5 coaster. I think I've put it at number 5 at the minute. It's definitely ahead of. I don't know where. I haven't got my actual list up at the minute. I always forget it. But
yeah,
it's
From looking at POVs, I love the dispatch lighting.
it's
and
so good, man.
the
Like,
levels
it's,
lighting
I
in
love
the rock work. It looks
Oh,
so
it's cool.
amazing.
The whole dispatch
Cool.
sequence with the lighting and then the audio in the station as well, with the
it's so nice.
you know the rumbling sound effects and
Yeah.
and everything. It's so well presented. It looks so well presented.
And Tom just like reminded me, like, you know, I didn't even talk about the backwards launch on that thing with them hills.
Yeah.
Like the ejector on it is flipping insane. Like it's so crazy. But I think it's something that I think, Emma, for example, you know, like how you didn't like Conda too much because it was giving you bruises. Like there is a little bit of that ejector, but I feel like the elements, like the ejector, is more like paced out. It's not like
That's what I thought when
bang,
I've
bang,
watched
bang. Yeah.
POVs. To me, it looks like something I'd enjoy more than Conda. I know, obviously, I can't tell till I
Yeah.
ride it, but when
Yeah.
I look at it, it looks more like my kind of ride.
I've heard of quite a few people say they prefer it to Conda already.
Yeah,
be honest.
100%.
Wow.
I loved Conda, but there were some bits in it that were a bit like dead as well, and like it's just not as ruthless as Conda is, especially like towards the midsection. It's nowhere near as ruthless. It's like you have the same ejector, but it's like spaced out more. It's the only way I can kind of explain it. Really, it's a
Yeah,
very
I get what you mean. It looks like it's giving me Taron vibes in like the twistiness and the little pops of airtime and stuff. Like it just looks like it rides more comfortably for me.
yeah. It is. It's just like way more rideable, I think, and even I'd say that with a Velocicoaster as well. I mean, obviously, probably people love Velocicoaster, but you know, I think it's even more rideable than Velocicoaster in a way, in my opinion. Because I would do like 2, and I'd be like, that's fine. But with Titatis, every time I was like, I want to do one more. I want to get around. And I'm not I'm not a big person who likes to do like re-ride after re-ride, but I probably could stand that thing all day. It's just so fun. You know, something, and like I've never had the near miss of a tree like I have on Titatis. They've got this one tree
Colorado.
after the no, they've got this
No,
one,
Colorado wasn't a near miss.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
yeah, actually, but no, there's this one tree after the stall, and I remember the first time I went past.
I know
it,
exactly which one you're talking about.
Yeah, I said it after my POV. It looks so close, and they've like literally like you can see they've like cut off a branch.
Is it like where it does that
Yeah.
little wave bump after the
Yeah.
stall? Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's
I've seen it on
if you sit on the left side, it's one of the best near misses I think I've ever had. Because every time if I was on the right, I'd go past it and I'd be like, whoa, like that. It's crazy.
They're gonna have to keep an eye on.
Yeah,
the
that's what I
growth of-
thought
of
as
the
well.
growth
They're
of
gonna
that
have to
tree,
get-
otherwise it'll become
Yeah, it's dangerous.
it'll become not a near miss anymore.
But
Colorado.
but yeah, it's just. I mean, and in general, like that whole area and the whole park in general, Park Asterix is amazing. Like it's
Can't
so
wait
good.
to go there.
The food is quite pricey, but the food is some of the best food I've ever had in a theme park. It's
Oh,
just
mate,
really,
talking
really
of food,
yeah.
I had the best food ever today. Loki's Bars reopened. A whole
Oh, that's good news.
rotisserie chicken
Did you
Right.
actually get a fucking chicken?
with rosemary potatoes, coleslaw, bit of gravy. It was sensational.
Wow.
It was great. It was beautiful, and it wasn't even expensive. I think it's like half a chicken, potatoes, and gravy was like £7 something with discount.
That's not bad. That's good.
You what?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good.
Do your
I'm telling
weekly
you.
shopping? Do your weekly shopping there?
They're a great retail place and food. Like Blackpool really is really good with retail and food at the moment.
So Dom was saying, what were the staff like? Do you think they'd be relaxed on the 2-meter height limit? Or no chance of getting on? All I'm saying is Matt, as in Coaster Giant, he went like this through it. we were looking at
Hunchback.
we were looking at this. We were looking at this height stick, what you have to walk past, and we were like, That's close.
Mhm.
But I think they weren't that strict. I don't think, but I don't know how. He never got measured against it. That's what It's not like he tried to like trick him or anything. But I can't even imagine what would be the height limit on that. I mean, there's a near
The
miss
tree?
element. Because I guess that's more of an arm thing. But I guess they depend it on. I mean, they calculate it on the whole circumference of someone who's tall, don't they? So
I think Pantheon has a max height limit of around 6'7", I think. Somewhere between 6'4" and 6'4" and 6'7". I can't be
Yeah.
bothered working out what that is in meters, but something around that, because I think it has a certain support on the drop where it passes underneath it when you come out of the stall.
yeah,
That like only just like clearance or something like that.
Wow.
right.
So I think they well, I say that as if it clears it like that, but like obviously it clears it by a fair bit. But when you go in that fast at that point in the ride, it looks like it looks like you've only got like a sliver of room to get through it. But I think they put that maximum height
Yeah.
restriction in there just in case. I
Yeah.
think.
Iona
around
said
6'4" to 6'7". I don't know if that's the case with
Yeah.
guys, but yeah.
Iona asked, would you recommend 1 or 2 day? Like Tom just said, like you can do it in one day, but you're just like you're rushing. You're not enjoying the park basically. We did 2 days there, and we said we could easily do an extra day because there's like loads of shows there. Like I didn't realize how big Parc Asterix, not Parc Asterix, Asterix the cartoon, like obviously in France,
Yeah,
massive.
Yeah.
Like
huge.
obviously we know it from when I was younger,
Asterix
but
and
I didn't-
Obelix.
yeah, I didn't
Yep.
I never really watched it. Like I think it's just
Yeah,
a
neither
little
did
bit-
neither did I really.
I think like it's just a little bit before my time in the UK. Probably wasn't as big. It was for a bit because obviously they had the comics and everything, but yeah, it's there's so much to do there, and we even did the Sky Bar, which is on my thing, which is on my vlog, which is like you basically it's not even an upcharge, which blew my mind. It's like
Wow.
you just have to buy a drink. You just buy a drink, an alcoholic drink, or you can even have a Coke.
In like
And then-
98% of, I thought it was an upcharge. Even
Yeah, it's not.
watching the vlog, like in 98% of other parks, that'd be
That would be an upcharge, right?
Yeah.
But they're just like, no, you buy a drink and then they put you onto a table, and then all the tables are numbered, and then when everyone's done, then your table basically gets called up, and then you go on it, and it's such a cool way of like viewing the park on this.
No.
Emma's saying no.
No
You'd be fine, man.
Would I fuck? No, I would not.
Fine. It's
I
honestly,
witness-
I hate drop towers myself. But
You
like,
witnessed the absolute shit show of that Starflyer I went on.
Yeah.
You would not get me up there in a million years.
it's not nowhere near as tall as that Sky.
I don't give a fuck. No.
No.
what if
I'll
they had
wait.
rotisserie chicken? Would you go then?
If they were going to feed me while I was up there, I might think about it.
There you go.
We'll
There
get you a
go.
packed lunch, and we'll just get some pot pies.
I'd
Well,
rather
just-
from there.
just-
Dairy Lee Dunker.
Yeah.
Just
Like-
stock the staff bit in the middle with pork pies. You'll be fine.
I'll
I'll
be
just
like, if I
just
could
throw
take
you
a
one every
picnic-
now and again.
I'll think about it. Don't throw it because I'd mean I'd have to move to catch it. Oh no, never.
Yeah, to be fair, I mean,
No, I'll wait on the floor with a
the
pint.
scenes after that Starflyer, it's like the Titanic, man. Like Jesus Christ.
So on
It was high.
the sky bar, you
Yeah.
face the middle, right?
Yeah, you face the middle, so you don't face the outside.
Yeah.
But then, like,
So like, do you
Yeah.
have to just like crane your neck around just to see outside and stuff, or
no, because it slowly rotates.
even
It
worse.
slowly rotates all the way around.
Even
so, like,
worse.
so you can like look, you can look to the side, but like you can see like good views of everything, and it just goes
Oh, right, okay.
around.
Sounds horrendous.
But like
Even watching your vlog, it gave me the willies, man. It was
But, like-
it was horrible.
you look down, and you are just like, it's just a seat. Like you've got nothing below you, and you just look
Exactly.
straight down. But it's I loved it. It was one of
I'll
the
do
best things I've done at a theme park. 100%. It was so good.
You're an absolute
Um,
psychopath.
But
He
yeah.
is. He ran up the big one. Like.
When on the Starflyer incident, he's like flapping around like a bloody bird. I'm like, sit still, man. Sit still."
I mean, to be fair, what they've got for for that skybar is an actual like physical structure that's
Yeah.
been
Nice.
built for it. All the other ones that I've seen, which would be like they have an entire
Yeah,
meal in
amazing.
London.
Pedal to the
It is
meal.
a crane that
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
lifts a
literally.
table up.
Yeah.
Dave
Genuinely.
comes
Making
along
me
with a
feel
fucking
weird
crane.
thinking about it.
Yeah.
Um,
I know
but
the
yeah,
feeling.
I think we need to move on because
Yeah.
Oh, just
I'll say if it's
one more,
22.
just one more thing.
Yeah, I'm
I
good.
I do think that in terms of the coasters that Park Asterix already had, they were missing. They did have a glaring hole in the form of a launch coaster missing. Now that they have that, I feel like, do we not think that Park Asterix has one of the most well-rounded coaster lineups in Europe?
Definitely.
I feel like it's
and-
done so much for them in terms of diversifying the lineup.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
I want to go, you know. So.
And what I will say is that Osiris is now my favorite invert. Like,
Osiris
Ooh.
looks so good.
It-
Oh,
insane.
it
It's
looks so
basically
good.
I come off it and I said it's what I wanted Montu to be because it's very similar, but like it just delivers. Man, I have never done an invert as you know when you have one of them Nemesis rides at night or like a
Yeah.
really hot day and it just hits and you're like, what
Yeah.
the hell was that?
Yeah.
Like, that's
I've
why
had that on
Nemesis-
Montu personally,
Yeah.
but yeah, I hate you.
I mean, we did it in one of the hottest days,
Yeah.
like in Florida, when in a heat wave, and it didn't give me that. But that's personally anyway. But like,
yeah.
oh my god, like I did a front row that hit, and then the next day I did a back row, and honestly, like it's so good. Like I didn't
I want
even
to
think-
back row down that drop.
I didn't know
drop
that
looks
much.
Sick.
It's so good, man. It's that first drop is just one of the best first drops I've ever done. Like in
Yeah.
terms of intenseness, if you like intense rides, like I didn't really know that much about Osiris. Like it's never really been on my list of like I've known about it, but I've never been like, oh, I need to go out and do that. Like what I think about Alpengeist. Like I can't wait to go and do that.
Mm.
But Osiris,
Stop
man,
it.
like
I-
it was just I came off it the second time and I was like, yeah, instantly my favorite invert I've ever done. So good.
Wow.
It's
So
so funny.
good.
It's so funny with you and Alpen guys. Like I hope it lives up to what you want from it.
I don't overhype
because
it.
from
but
everything,
yeah,
because from everything that you explain that you like about B&M inverts, I feel like Alpen.
yeah, but that's
I hope you.
that's gone out the window now because Iris does not fit that like what I think I like in an invert, which is like close to the ground, like near misses and stuff. Like it doesn't really fit that. But like I don't know, it was very intense, and
That's
that's
so
what I
cool,
liked
though.
about
I hope I
That's
am there
mad.
with you when you ride Alpen Ghost.
it.
I'll
Yeah,
say that much. I do.
But yeah, there we go.
Wow.
If you want to know more, go watch our vlog because I've got a lot to say about that park. It's a brilliant park. Some great coasters. Like you say, just a well-rounded lineup. Tonnerre to Zeus is like really great coaster. Like I don't know why people say that's bad. Like
Did you
I've
do
heard so many.
backwards?
No, I wanted to, but we just didn't have enough time. Like we
Didn't
just
brave
did
it.
not have enough time. But I don't know if that. I don't even know. I don't think a back row on a wooden coaster would even work. Like, let's be honest. I think you're subconsciously like anticipating corners on a wooden coaster.
Hey, you know when it's coming.
Like,
That's,
I
that's
don't think
exactly
I'd
what
wanna-
I've always said about backwards row.
I don't think I'd
anybody.
want to experience. I mean, I do just to say I've done it and to know it, but I know that it wouldn't be good. So,
Mm.
but anyway, let's move on. We've got so much to flipping. Go through.
Yeah.
Right. So, Poseidon's Fury. So yeah,
Ooh.
Adventure, man.
Yes.
It has been announced that it is going to close at Islands of Adventure, Poseidon's Fury. Their walkthrough, I guess walkthrough attraction.
Attraction,
yeah.
It's an
So
opening
it's-
day attraction, isn't it?
It's a walk. It's a yeah. It was.
Yeah,
There was
open
opening
with
day. It's a walk
Was
through
that the one
show.
that has the
basically.
whole
Yeah,
vortex of
the
water thing?
Vortex.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I'll say, like I'm so glad we got to experience that.
Yeah,
Like,
same.
because the first time we went there, it was getting. This is what I don't get.
It was shut
was
when I
get-
was there.
It was getting refurbed for like a year.
Yeah,
when
yeah,
I went
yeah, yeah.
It had like a massive refurb. So then, with the second time we went, we managed to get on it, And me and when I was looking forward to it anyway, just from like a kind of a nerdy, like, oh, this is an open day attraction. I've seen a lot about this. I've seen Expedition Theme Parks video on it. I was like, it looks really interesting. But me and Joe were like when we did it, it's hard to explain if you haven't done it. But we were so invested in that story, like we were like cheering and stuff.
Yeah, it really makes you feel like you are right there in it.
Yeah,
and physically you kind of are. Right. I was glad to have gotten on it last year, and I felt a lot of the same way. Like it despite the fact that it's been up and down in terms of availability and stuff. Like it has that same timeless feeling that Spider-Man does. Like it it opened with a park, and it still feels like it's not. It never felt dated.
Spider-Man's world class.
It's great. It's good. I mean, the only thing I'd say was felt dated was like just like the end scene with like maybe the weird graphics at the end. But even then, like the actual characters that talk to you at the end felt a little bit dated. But in the moment, it didn't feel like that because you got led up to it. But yeah, anyway, it's been announced that the last time it will be run is it the 9th of May, and then it actually closes on the 10th.
So last day of shows is
fucking big area.
And then the Sinbad Arena. Is it the Sinbad Arena? Is it called?
I can't remember the exact name of it, but it is where the Sinbad Show Amphitheater,
which has not been open for a while. That's basically
it's been closed since. I'm just looking at tweets now. Like it's been closed since 2018.
But that whole area is a stunning area. I love it. Like even though there's not like that much there, like I don't know, man. It's something so because it's an opening day. Well, yeah, it's like a classic, isn't it? And I don't know, it's just really nice to walk through that area. I've always felt like it's a nice place to walk through.
I just hope that because there are. Let's be honest with ourselves. Universal are going to have a plan for this area. It is way too big an area to not do anything substantial with it. Like between Poseidon's Fury and the Sinbad Amphitheater, that whole area going from basically the end of Port of Entry all the way up to Hogsmeade Station.
Yeah,
it's massive.
It's fucking massive.
There's so much room to do basically whatever the hell they want there. Obviously the area is landlocked technically, but like there's so much space. So and one thing I will say about the Lost Continent is that I've always loved. Obviously my attention has always taken me to the Hulk and to Dueling Dragons when that was there, and etc. But I always liked how the Lost Continent felt rooted to the aesthetic and the atmosphere that Port of Entry always set.
Yeah.
They're very similar in architecture. Obviously, the Lost Continent is made to look a bit more dilapidated, but they have similar vibes to them. What I hope that Universal achieve with whatever they want to, redo it to, is that it still holds that, because I feel like Port of Entry is the best entry area to any park in the world.
It's beautiful.
And the specific vibe that Port of Entry has in its architecture and its atmosphere, I've always loved how it's like a slow burn. It's a slow transition into the rest of the area. So I hope that
I mean, it's just a shame that Zeus Landing isn't the. Oh God.
Yeah.
Like I understand. I understand.
Sorry. From Hogsmeade Station to Zeus Landing, not to Port of Entry.
I'm gonna say I understand that Zeus Landing is a cool like kids area, and like it's obviously like people love Zeus and stuff. Like I think it's very much obviously in this country we know Dr. Zeus and all that, but like in America it's like a way bigger, right?
Yeah,
it's
huge.
Tell. It's like Roald Dahl, basically. But like I just hate walking through that area. It's like sensory overload.
And when you don't stay on the resort, that's where you stopped as well.
It doesn't feel like you're in Islands of Adventure in that area at all.
No, it doesn't.
They could do so much better, but the Cat in the Hat ride was funny. I like that.
It's good, but
Um,
like what they've got there is good. But I mean, there's rumors that they're going to be building a Zelda themed land. Heavily
which I would,
rumored.
which
I would
I'm
be
not even. I'm not
down.
even a Zelda video game fan.
Yeah, but like
purely
Nintendo.
not to say I don't like them. I just haven't played them that much.
But
I
it's
would.
like,
It would be perfect.
it'd be
I think
awesome.
thematically.
Yeah,
It's
like
the
you say,
only-
port of entry, you could really bring that in with Zelda.
It's definitely going to be IP'd. It's the only area that's not IP'd in IP'd.
IP. Very- Get that on a t-shirt.
Clip that.
It's not the. It's the only area that I peed.
Piss
yeah,
under
it's
the mad
got
hat.
like people are saying like extension to Harry Potter. I don't think it will be an extension. to
No,
Harry
I don't
Potter.
think so because we're getting the new Wizarding
We- yeah.
World in Epic
Yeah.
Universe, and
I
we're
think-
getting Super Nintendo World as well. Super Mario
And-
World, sorry.
and-
Epic.
And even
there's-
though it's
and
like
there's-
super successful like IP for them, like it's not like they can't like dedicate like half of the park to
it's
Harry
not-
Potter.
yeah,
Like that means
And
like if the interest in Harry Potter ever wanes in like say like
Yeah.
15 years, they're gonna have like, well, I'd say a quarter of the park, basically all Harry Potter that they'll have to retheme.
they're making the new HBO TV series of Harry Potter, though, aren't they? So
yeah,
And
true.
there's heavy rumors of them expanding Diagon Alley
yeah,
in Universal Studios Florida, where
That
where
would
the
be
old Fear Factor
yes,
theater is.
do
There's
that.
heavy rumors of them expanding Diagon Alley that way.
That'd be good because that's
So it
on
would
the other
make-
side.
It would
so
make zero sense
doing another
that.
one.
doing another expansion in Islands when they have Epic Universe.
Oh
Yeah,
my
You know, gonna
god!
have Wizarding World in there as well.
I've just had an idea for Zelda, the Water Temple.
Yeah, I've heard that.
That would be
thrown around.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and
that'd be
like they
amazing.
could keep the water fountain trommel from Poseidon's Fury as well.
Yeah.
Like that would be a good way to keep that effect because that was one of my favorite parts of Poseidon's. That would be a good way to.
About that.
I never
Yeah,
got to
interesting.
do it. It was closed, and the Mummy was closed as well when I was there, which was a bit of a shame. But
Oh yeah, they're doing Mummy refurb, weren't
next year,
they?
guidance, but
Yeah, no, I mean, shout out Theme Park Predictions on YouTube. He did he's got a video up on his YouTube channel,
check it out.
like predicting, just basically the possibility of a Legend of Zelda
Oh, it's so good.
themed area. He includes the suggestion of a B&M of a launched B&M wing in there.
Ooh.
And then like repurposing, I think repurposing the Poseidon's Fury show building as a dark ride, or just leveling that entire building and starting again, like as
Yeah.
a dark
yeah.
ride on that plot.
Yeah.
Retheming Mythos slightly, the restaurant.
Oh yeah,
and-
Zelda themed food. That'd be
Yeah.
cool.
Or something maybe not just throwing Zelda entirely at it, but just
but like
having
just-
little nods in there.
The same way they
stuff, like
did in
maybe on the
Super
menu.
Nintendo World. Like they have different meals and stuff that are prepped out. We're using different names and things, but they could do that with the Zelda Land. But I think this Nintendo relationship at Universal have now with Epic Universe, with Hollywood Studios that's just opened up as well. So,
Well, it's a
Did
full-on
you-
partnership in it. So,
but it's a mad partnership. If they get Zelda, they've got Super Mario and Zelda. They're like two of the biggest.
Well, no,
Nintendo
like they have a like it's Universal and Nintendo,
Yeah.
not just Universal and Super Mario.
No. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they,
I know.
so they have access or potential in the future access to pretty much all of Nintendo's.
and that's
catalog.
what I'm saying.
There's
So if
been
they do
rumors of
something
Zelda.
other
There's been
than
rumors
Mario,
of Pokemon. There's been rumors of
yeah, there.
of-
That you've just said it. That's
you
it.
know so,
Yeah.
so many others. Metroid is
Yeah,
another one that Roller Baz has mentioned. Metroid in there as well. Like there's so much they can go into there.
GoldenEye.
Cool. Shall we talk RMC?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
So all I know, I don't know much about it. I haven't even read
I
it.
don't know much.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I haven't read
We
all
saw
of
a
it.
tweet.
It's just like
Saw a tweet,
5
we
pages
saw-
long.
We'll
This is
talk
going to
about it. Why not?
be a quick one.
Yeah.
RMC have announced their, would you call it a merger? It's a merger.
Yeah.
Yeah, merger.
Yeah, merger with
Yeah.
Larson. So obviously, I mean, Larson Loops.
With
Uh,
James
Lupus.
Larson.
That is literally the first thing I thought. You know what I mean? When
Literally, I
read
don't
that,
even
was
think
like-
of Larson. I don't even think of Larson
I
International
have to
when
agree.
I hear that name.
Yeah. But yeah, so they have done it. I mean, what do Larson do these days? I'm sorry, but I don't really know. Like, what do they do?
I got a clue, mate.
Uh, so
Could be a coastal. So we need
I'm-
could be a coastal thing soon. So we need to.
I'm not 100% clued
Shit,
up
I'm
on their
listening.
entire, ride catalog either. But obviously,
Yeah.
obviously the Larson Loops. But then, like, I think more so along the lines of just more affordable family and thrill rides.
Right.
So just like different kind of flats, different kind of drop towers and stuff. I think the type of catalog that really suits smaller parks and like smaller family-owned parks, smaller fairgrounds, stuff like that. So I think the main sort of win that RMC gets from this is just being able to expand their target audience, expand their reach.
Tell
I
us how
think.
to make loops.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Have you seen Ads' comment? Can't wait for the UK part to announce an RMC and we get a Larson.
Yay!
RMC tweeted that Larson Loops count as creds.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Oh.
What's your opinion on that, Mikhail? Do they count as creds? I don't
No.
want. No, they do not.
No.
They're not a cred.
But according to
RMC
RMC, they
Samurai.
do.
So they have like spin rides. They have mega bounces. They have them flying scooters, which is like them, them weird
Flying
wing
scooters are
things.
so much fun.
They have one at Oakwood, don't they? Them like with the wings on the side of them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, actually, I did that one.
Oh,
Yeah, star dancers, shot towers. So it pretty much is like RMC expanding into flat rides, which I mean, what is the point? But that's up to them, ain't it, really? But I mean, I don't know what this will. I mean, the thing is, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Do you know what I mean? We don't know what tech they have that RMC are like that would help us improve this part of our business.
Yeah, there's obviously a huge reason behind it. It's not just on a whim. So
No, it could be like literally could be like, well, we could do with a warehouse in that location. So you've got a massive warehouse with loads of stuff.
Mm.
So it could even be that, But
And it's also like
Mm.
obviously RMC coasters have garnered the reputation that they have like now. RMC is still a pretty small company. Like they and if you think about like the pricing of their coasters, they're not the most expensive.
No.
So like it
Yeah.
is kind of interesting to see what kind of profits they make per year and how like the different ways that they're looking at just basically being able to tap into more, like I said, like a wider target audience, more parks,
Yeah.
and
like
UK.
just increase their revenue that way.
family or
Because
more
not every park
more
is looking
regional
for a
parks.
RMC
Yeah.
hyper hybrid, are they?
No, they're not.
Yeah, that's it. And they could like they could start building like junior coasters that aren't hybrids and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's it's just
I don't know much. I don't know much about this partnership at all. But but yeah, like I'm just I think that it could be on like part of the objective.
Absolutely.
cool.
Oh, excuse me.
That's that. Six Flags Gideon. Blah blah.
Oh god, yeah.
Six Flags Gideon, which is the new park over in a country where lots of people probably don't feel safe traveling. But
Yeah.
they have started work on Falcon's Flight, which is that insane coaster we saw like a year or two ago. Which
Like-
that thing looks like a meme.
it's not
just-
even.
I
like,
still don't believe it's real. I think they've just put some track in.
yeah.
They went to Intamin and went, Can we just get a station? Nothing
Yeah,
else.
yeah.
Just so that we can install that and just say that we're building
Just make it
it.
look like we're actually building this.
Yeah.
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 We can just get a station, please.
If you don't know,
Ends up just being a monorail.
if you've
It's
never
just going to be a
heard,
wacky worm. They've had us all off.
They are.
This is good marketing. Good marketing for our brand new wacky worm.
yeah, if you haven't heard of what this is,
Biggest
it's
apple in the
called
world.
Falcon's Flight. You can go onto YouTube and see like that insane video they made that
Just
defies
literally
all.
looks like a simulator you see in an arcade, like Coral
Yeah.
Island. And you
It's
jump in.
basically
Really
like
large.
it looks like someone's just got like no limits for the first time. I thought, what's the craziest coaster I can make?
It's a digital Dan coaster.
yeah, you're Dan doing a
Recreate
challenge.
it, Dan.
Yeah.
Let's see it.
So it's world's tall. It's meant to be world's tallest and fastest and longest coaster. It's
He's like, I did. And then they built it.
155 miles per hour, 525 feet, 25
In a
foot
desert.
drop into a valley off a cliff edge. But yeah, it's the first bit of track has gone down.
Oh, and 2.5 miles of track in total.
It
It
makes
just
no
sounds
sense.
insane. But I've got some. You know, we do know. So here's like some concept art of the actual Six Flags park. You know, it looks cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But here's some
I just-
construction photos of it actually being built now. So that's obviously
That
the,
could be anything.
It's just like it's a part of the world that I'm probably
13 clone.
never going to visit.
It's too hot,
So,
mate.
What I will
Just like-
say is that track is very wide.
Yeah, it is.
Mm.
But there's a water park going there as well.
It's too hot for a water park, man. Be cool.
I know, mate. You can imagine trying to walk
Volcano
around
Bay's
that.
bad enough. Yeah.
A
I mean,
t-shirt
you
ain't
get
gonna
out the
save
water
that
and you'll be
worm.
dry.
A country where it's too hot to get wet outside.
Yeah. The
You'd
fuck?
be dry instantly getting out.
Yeah.
My goth skin would not be happy.
But yeah, I think it's be interesting to see what happens with it. Like, I don't think it's going to be anything like they've suggested. It's not going to be the world's tallest. It's not going to be the world's fastest. I'm calling it now. It's just going to be a standard. I mean, we don't even know what manufacturer it is. Like, most people are saying Intamin. You can't really tell from that picture like what that is. It's so like a nondescript.
From previous like press releases, that
Mm.
quite a lot of them have stated that apparently it's designed by Intamin. So
Yeah, but then I think someone said on
Intamin
this
have
fi-
acknowledged it in videos.
Intamin have acknowledged it, but they've also been like sort of thing. Yeah, they've also they've acknowledged.
See, the thing is,
We sent
Gareth-
it.
yeah,
Yeah,
we're doing that.
guaranteed, if Intamin are building it,
Mm.
they are getting the full thing paid for before they even start building.
Oh, yeah. 1000%.
Like,
Yes.
there's
It's,
no way.
But as far as we know, is the Six Flags Park is getting built. It is actually going ahead. It's not like a bloody London resort type of deal. Like
Oh, so subject, mate.
track-
Move on.
this track going in. So there we go.
Hey, they're not fully bust yet.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Anyway.
We're
Get
still
it
getting that
there.
Primark, guys.
So-
Primark's coming.
Nando's and a Cineworld.
Nando's, a Primark,
Nando's in a
a
Cineworld.
steakhouse,
No,
The
City
whole-
World are going.
Pound
City
Bakery.
World
On a
must-
Hollywood Bowl.
Oh my God.
Pound Bakery, Greg's.
It is literally just going to be the world's biggest Primark. That's going
World's
to be
biggest retail.
I'd allow it. I'd allow it.
Yeah,
Million
fuck you,
quaking in the
Birmingham.
boots at the world's first biggest Primark.
going to be Sheen's first shot.
Oh yeah, that's a bit of me.
Stick
That.
silk all over it.
Yeah.
Sheen, Vessi, and Wish all lined up next
Yeah,
to
all
each
like
other.
all in one go.
Prime Resort.
But yeah, that's all our news. So
Legoland
we're going to go on to
7.
our main topic, which is obviously about what makes a coaster great, and it's obviously this is all in our opinion. We're going to now
I
look
mean,
at
a 525-foot drop, 150.
The water park is too hot to fucking go to.
But what would happen if they designed this with like a 520-foot drop, and then they're looking at Cedar Point now, going, "Oh wow."
Okay, they just take the lifter off and replace it with another 40 foot. Like that's
Yeah.
what they do.
Oh god. But yeah,
Someone's put in the chat. Ace is put in the chat. I had a dream earlier this week that Blackpool Pleasure Beach replaced Nickelodeon Land with a Robot Wars land, and now I really want a Robot. Imagine,
can you imagine? That'd be sick, though,
sick.
right?
That would
Matilda
actually
just
be
going
cool.
around. Matilda going around smashing everything.
Oh,
I-
imagine
Imagine
that.
Robot Wars Dark Ride.
Imagine like bumper cars.
Robot
like,
it
No,
is. Stand by.
because you could do the whole because you have like all like forbidden truckers and stuff. You
Yeah.
could literally have a Robot Wars
Robot Wars.
arena,
I
and you
suppose that is
control
just-
the robots.
Yeah.
I'd have taken
would
that
be
over
so
Valhalla any day.
Oh,
There
All
you go.
spicy. Very
I suppose
Yeah.
Robot Wars
Uh,
Dark Ride is just Transformers the ride in it.
Unique
Yeah, I mean,
Exodus
yeah.
will be UK.
Decepticons the ride, really, isn't it? That's what it is.
Like, I'm sorry, but fucking Transformers, man. I did that ride and I was like, all right, chill out, mate. Like, Jesus Christ. Like,
I think it's all right.
mate, it's so loud. I was just like, I guess it is true to the films. It is just, it's just like,
It's true to Michael. It's true to Michael Bay's source material.
I'm just like, give it a rest, mate.
All the
Like,
lens flares as
Jesus.
well. Like, it was all there.
Oh man, it was too much when I did it. I was just like, let's just no.
Then you've got Spider Man.
Emma,
Give me Spider-Man any day. It was like
Yeah.
they tried to make a better version of Spider-Man and failed.
There's a reason I didn't bring up like it's obviously not seeing Spider-Man, but it uses the same ride system. I give it one ride every time I'm there.
I'll
Like,
give it
I
one
like
star
it.
out of 5.
I like it. I
Almost on
enjoy it.
trip and ride.
Obviously it's not on Spider-Man's level, but yeah.
But that's what
Not many things are.
We're not doing worse rides.
No, we're
this
going for
week.
Yeah.
roller coasters.
We're doing
What
Anyway,
makes a
why
coaster
do you like
great.
rides, guys? Let us know in the
So-
comments.
We're gonna start with Emma.
What?
Actually, no, you're eating. I'll give you.
What are you
Yeah,
eating?
you
Uh,
rushed
Easter
back.
egg.
Oh my
Uh,
god, you've had a cream egg, an Easter egg, and a crunchy in one sitting.
Yeah.
And it's Easter.
Yeah.
Leave me alone.
What's wrong with that?
yeah, fair.
I'm having a nice time. Back off.
Good. You need a pot pie.
So, okay, who wants to start then? What makes if you look at your top coasters, what do you look for in a ride? What do you think makes that coaster your top?
Go on, Luke.
Well,
Set it
me,
Set it off.
I don't know. I think
You've just done your coaster count. You're
yeah, I
ready. You're
know,
primed.
but then but yeah, well, it's kind of it's
Yeah,
like
nosy.
I do really like it turns out that I really like rides based off popular movies for some reason.
I mean, knowing you, Luke,
yeah,
it's
that's on
not.
brand.
It's not really that surprising.
Yeah, I know. It's like Velocicoaster's my number one. I really do like Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, the whole vibe of it. I feel like I'm part of that world when I ride that coaster. Same with Hagrid's and same with Rise of Resistance. Not a coaster, but I feel like I'm part of this whole universe and I'm being put into this certain situation. And I really like being part of that movie ethos when you're on a ride. Good movies, not shit ones.
Yeah.
So that's the difference. Like,
Mm.
and good IPs, big IPs, and with big budgets behind them. Not small stuff. Like, no offense to anyone who like saw the ride, but I don't dig that ride.
I'm a
So
fan.
I don't like it. I think it's fucking mannequins. Like you said, mannequins in Valhalla. That's all it is. Everywhere. But it's
No,
like
I think Thor's pretty on brand. I think if you like that, if you like that, you like. I love the Saw movies. Like I
they could have
genuinely
done
like
so
Saw
much
movies.
more with that ride.
That's the
But
thing.
it feels on brand though, and they've got
the
like
whole
they've got
thing with
genuine.
the Saw movies was
Yeah.
it was low
Man.
budget. They had
Yeah, yeah.
no budget for that first film.
And
Yeah.
like,
that's the
there's-
thing,
There's,
I don't
there's
enjoy-
actual. There's like actual props from the movie, like in.
Oh yeah, I get
like,
that.
You know,
Aaron's explained that to me before, and Joe's explained that to me before, but I'm still like, But if the Star Wars ride,
but
that'd be
that's
different.
that's like that's the thing, and
But
that's what I explained the other week. Like, I think if you are attached to that IP,
I was going to
Yeah,
say, how
yeah.
connected?
Big help.
How connected are you to the Saw franchise?
Not
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like, but I would go and ride the Swarm over Saw any day, and Swarm's not an IP, but it
Yeah.
Sounds
feels
boring.
like a grander experience than Saw for me. It feels more. I don't know. There's
well,
more going on.
it's what we've gone back to in the past, which is like Fly. and it's like
Mm.
it leaves so much up to the imagination because
Yeah,
you
yeah.
don't really know what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's why I always prefer like non-IP rides because of that. Because of that, it's you make your own decision of what it could mean and what you know.
Pre-show set the scene, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I do like a good pre-show. That's why I like Wicker Man so much as well, to be fair. But like for me, obviously, then it's down to so once you've got that, I'm going to this because it's part of this universe. I want to experience this new thing. What they've done, they've taken a thing out of a movie and put it into the real world, and I can go and experience that. Once that's been decided, then it's down to like layout, coaster manufacturer type, you know, what it does.
Okay, so what do you value in, like, strictly from a coaster perspective, what do you value in a layout for it to be like up there in your top 5, top 3?
I love
top, like-
pacing, man. Good pacing coasters do it for me. I just love element after element, you know, hill after hill. I like it intense, but not too crazy. But you can't just keep rewinding and rewriting. I do like to rewrite a lot, but I feel like, you know, good sense of speed, good sense of action, good sense of movement, and airtime is a big thing for me. Like when that airtime hits, when I first rode the Smiler, for example, when that airtime hits on that airtime hill,
Yeah, the second
that
one.
is fucking phenomenal. It's
Yeah.
so good. It's so good. And it was just like everything else around that as well was crazy. But when you put it all together, it's a complete package. I don't think there's any one thing that I particularly like about a ride. I like new designs. Like, for example, getting to Velocicoaster was a big thing for me because it was a new Intamin style coaster, in the X-Gen Intamin, which I've never ridden before. That stall, for example, I wanted to experience that. To Tatis, I want to experience the reverse launch and go up that fucking spike. Like, there's so much in rides that I look for that I can't pinpoint any one thing. It all goes together with what's new, what's the latest feeling. RMCs, I've still not ridden one. Like, so I've still got a lot of catching up to do, but I'm looking at rides that are coming out now, and they're just crazy. They're just getting so good. Great ride after great ride after great ride. And it's amazing to be an enthusiast right now. For me, it is definitely.
Yeah.
I think, in my opinion, like you were saying about airtime and stuff,
Mm.
I love airtime, but for me, it's got to be well placed airtime.
Yeah, at the
Yes.
right
Not,
moment.
Yes.
not just
Yeah.
airtime for the
One
sake of airtime.
1,000,000%.
That's where it becomes uncomfortable.
1000%.
Yeah.
In my opinion, Untamed has unnecessary, not well placed airtime. It's there for the sake of having airtime, which doesn't work for me. It has to be put in the right place. Because it's look at my top 5, you've got Zadra, Ride to Happiness, Taron, Troy, Lek. They've all got good pops of airtime in the best place. It's not just Bunny Hill, Bunny Hill, Bunny Hill up.
Yeah.
I can't cope with that. But when it's
which is like
Condos
Condos as well at the end, isn't it? It's just like
it's
just
unnecessary.
throws you out.
in which is
unnecessary
like
at the end of Condo.
60% of RMCs. It's like
I suppose that's
every
why-
small RMC.
Yeah, I don't think you'd like. I don't think you'd like Iron Gwazi because Iron Gwazi is just like literally relentless. Yeah.
I just, like I say, I enjoy mad injector airtime, but I don't want it constantly. I want it at the best moment for it.
That's why I
rather
brought
than
the
just
Smiler
for
up.
the sake of it.
Yeah.
It's got one of the best airtime
Like,
moments of the UK. The Smiler.
You just go whoop way. It's just so
Yeah,
good.
but
When it
because there's
plays-
that what because there's like that there's that single pop of airtime.
Yeah.
Really on the Smiler, it really like
It hits.
It hits and it makes you. It's like memorable.
Yeah.
Which is weird, isn't it? Because if you, I guess that's what it shows. I mean, it's very weird. It depends what I'm riding to what I like, really. But I've realised when I did Ride to Happiness, I realised that what I missed off Ride to Happiness was that initial first drop forwards.
Uh-huh.
I really love our first drop. And I didn't know that until I did Ride to Happiness because I was like, if I got
Really?
if I got the perfect ride where like over that first top hat, well the first when you come off the launch and you go off,
Yeah.
weird.
if
Yeah,
I-
yeah, yeah,
Weird
yeah.
thing that it does.
if I was facing forward on that, it probably would go up to like It might even be number one, which is why we're going to Plopsaland this month, because I'm going to ride to Happiness all day, because I don't feel like I've still got a good.
I'm just surprised it took you till Ride to Happiness to realize that. What, you didn't get it
Because-
off
because-
Shambhala or Silver Star?
Yeah, but like you always on coasters, you normally always get a first drop, right?
I think what he means
Yeah.
when it's taken away
Yeah.
from you, you don't
When
realize.
it's taken away from
Yeah.
you, like even with Icon, you get a kind of that experience of a first drop off the top hat.
Yeah, you do.
Like you always
Yeah.
get a first drop. It's not until I did like, I could kind of feel it, but I was going sideways or backwards. Like you don't really understand like how much. Oh, well, I didn't understand personally how much that adds to my ride experience until I did Ride to Happiness.
Okay.
I think
okay.
as well with having an actual first drop as well. I don't know where it's same for you, but with a first drop, it's the build in anticipation.
Yeah.
You know, you're not just
Mm.
straight into the ride, which don't get me wrong, I love a launch to start a ride off with stuff, but having the anticipation of a lift hill builds that feeling and excitement, for an
Right,
extra
yeah.
Which
couple
is
of
kind
minutes.
of like, why I think I love Tutatis so much is because even though he's not got a lift hill, you've got that like the swing launch. You've got that anticipation.
Good day, mate.
Good day,
I'm
mate.
Francis Jackson.
So, Cole?
Operations manager. Towers Resort.
I'm just
But
here, mate.
that's but like that, I've only ever done like one kind of swing launch, which was Icebreaker, and that doesn't hit any. That
No,
doesn't
no,
work
like,
for me.
not
No,
at
it's
all.
not even anywhere near what this is. But like just doing that was like, I don't know, it was brilliant, and it had to that top hat, and then you just the first launch on that, the first drop on that is great.
What's
But
the
apart
rollback
from that-
like off that top hat?
That's brilliant. Like it's what you want from a rollback. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like
it's
we
like
all
you
want
just let you go-
rollbacks. You know?
It's
Just
mad
straight
because
up
you go
weightlessness.
force, weightless,
Yeah.
force, weightless,
It's
force,
just
weightless, and over. That's mad. Like,
it's the ejector you're getting off that launch. It's like insane. But yeah, like that's
yeah,
what
Time
I,
Bunny.
but that's what I really like.
Like a
I
speed
do.
Mm.
I think I've done a lot of coasters recently that is straight up ejector, but I love airtime. Like I love floater airtime.
Shambhala
And-
airtime.
Yeah, and I don't really get it that often. But like
You
when I did Silver Star, like I kind of, even though it's not the best one I've done, but I was like, I missed that off Mako. I think Mako's good, but I don't think the floater airtime on Mako is that
I'd not
great.
been on a hyper for ages though when I rode Mako. So when I've got that little airtime hit, like the
Yeah.
feeling of floater you get.
Well,
on a B&M
Mako doesn't
hyper.
have floater airtime. It has
Doesn't,
like
no.
in between floater and ejector. It's not
It's
straight up ejector, but
that's-
it's
yeah,
stronger than
yeah.
floater.
Yeah,
It's in between,
And some people like that, which
Yeah.
is why they rank Mako higher than the likes of like Shambhala or even like Diamondback or something like that.
yeah, I can see.
But
why.
then some people prefer the pure floater airtime.
So what's like what is Fury's? What is that? Is that ejector?
Oh,
or
Fury's
is that
is
like
ejector.
ejector?
not- it-
Fury's
yeah.
ejector.
It's not RMC intimate ejector, but
No.
it's you're getting flung out of your seat on those return hills. The Helix, depending on how you look at it, is a nice break of the like chaos that is that ride. But like
Yeah.
those final 3 hills in the second half, they're ejector for sure.
Yeah, it's just it blows my mind now that Intamin are just so like they've been so heavily inspired by RMC to the point where like you could be riding an RMC when you're riding an Intamin. Like that's
Yeah.
what I was thinking. I was thinking,
Yeah.
where I'm
Yeah.
like, it's got the best of both though. It's got the best of what I like about Intamin, and then also the best of what I like about RMCs in a way.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
It's just it's mega interesting because we've seen this gradual, like even with Hyper when we started seeing these like these elements that were inspired.
Yeah, when it gets low to the
Yeah.
ground. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Tiger's full of them. The stall
off the
the
coaster.
stall on there, the speed hill after the stall up into Tiger's Immelman. That's all RMC.
yeah,
Like in terms of strictly in terms of just going from a massive drawn out element to just a little speed bump and then
Yeah.
into another big element. That's
Hang time's good.
that's RMC. That's
but it's
RMC.
interesting because
I like Hang
that's
Short.
what is like kind of it's mad because it's like Intamin listen Do you know what I mean? Like they
Yeah.
listen
Yeah.
to what people
Yeah.
are like what
And-
people are liking.
And that's why they're so successful, because they do listen and they give people what they fucking want. They don't just throw airtime mill after airtime mill after airtime mill. They actually
Well, it's
they go
like,
crazy with the layouts because
that,
people want
but
crazy layouts.
also they're constantly refining the designs. Like how many
Yeah.
iterations of track design and
Yeah.
and seat design and train design do they go through on a
You know what?
in a like in a 2-3 year span?
Mikhail, just on that point,
Right.
did you watch the Velocicoaster documentary that they made?
Yeah.
When they showed the different
When it eventually got on YouTube.
iterations. Yeah, well,
But yeah, I
yeah.
watched it.
Yeah. when they showed the different, how many different iterations they had of that ride, like Intamin were coming up with different things. It was mad.
Yeah.
So it just shows you like they've got so much up their sleeve in the locker, ready to go at any
for
point.
sure.
And people just keep raving about Intamin, like the latest rides. Intamin, just quality after quality.
They're just getting
It's
better
like-
and better.
And
like,
it's funny because and I'll get into my personal preferences as well, like after this. But
Yeah.
like I find it interesting because there's a still small, admittedly, but growing voice of like criticism towards new Intamins because they don't quite like slap you in the face with moments like rapid fire the same way the likes of Taron and Maverick and Tiger do. Like with the same sort of just raw aggression. Raw aggression. People say that about people say that about Velocicoaster. People say that about Conda. People say about Pantheon, and
But I think
obviously Two Towers
I
is
think
very
the
new,
newer
but
Intamins are more consistent.
this is what I was about to say.
Yeah,
So like,
I think they're way more consistent because you can go on Taron and you can have like half a day of being like, it's good, but it's not Taron. Do you know what I mean? It's not
Yeah.
what I know as Taron. Whereas you can get, Intamins are famous for having to warm up. Like that's just
Yeah.
the way they are.
mhm.
But like, I feel like the newer
Strangely enough, so are
Intamins-
RMCs.
yeah, I feel like the newer, the new gen
They're just-
Intamins are just warming up faster, and they still delivering,
Mm.
even when they're like running slow. And I think that's what the design.
Well,
do.
that too, but also in like inherently in how they're designed. The new track designs can't take as tight a turn radius as the tri-tube track design that Taron and Tiger use.
Yeah.
So the elements are already inherently more drawn out
Yeah.
on them, and that forces the elements again like inherently to be like less like rapid fire, like Taron and Tiger, to be fair, but Taron is just like moment after moment after moment just hitting you in the face over and over and over and over and over again. Admit, like Velocicoaster isn't that. Conda doesn't look like it's that, apart from the return trip maybe.
Yeah.
Two Tires doesn't look like that from my vantage point. It's an inherent refining of the design philosophy and approach that Intamin has taken on.
Absolutely.
But it's also resulting, and this is why I find it so interesting, because it's also resulting in, or playing its part in resulting in much more reliable coasters.
Yeah.
And I feel like much more of a fun factor to their rides, because they're allowing for much more variation in terms of the forces and the sensations. Much more creative elements, obviously being inspired by RMC and stuff. And then people like you, obviously we just seen it last weekend, people coming off Two Tatis. One thing, like, yeah, it has its intense moments, it has its ejector moments, but a lot of people also just say that it's just straight up so much fun. Like, it's just well fun.
I think for me, like when I
I
ride to Tatis, it feels like such a different manufacturer to Taron. Like, it doesn't feel the same. It doesn't feel the same.
Yeah,
and
I agree with that.
I don't think that in a negative way. I'm just like at the end of the day, like that's what manufacturers go through, right? Like, they have to go through these stages. But like, I don't know. That's
what I'm saying. Just like there are I think there are a slowly growing voice of criticism about new gen Intamin that say that that's a bad thing. That like it does, like the newer Intamins do feel different to the likes of Taran and Maverick and Tiger.
But they
Yeah.
could go back to it for a park if they wanted at any time.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they could. I mean, like Intamin still designs and manufactures the tri-tube, track design and stuff.
Yeah, of course.
But like, it's just interesting to me because I don't think it's a negative.
No.
Because I kind of just feel like it widens the scope of what Intamin can do with these multi launches and with these mega coasters. But yeah, I just find that interesting.
I mean, at the end of the day, Taran is still my number one, and that that still speaks volumes, really.
Yeah.
There's just, I mean, and even though the fact that Taran takes so long to warm up, which is annoying.
It does.
It is a drawback from Taran, like, and that's why I always say, like, objectively, like these newer gen are probably better. They are better coasters, but like when you get that ride on Taran, Jesus, man, like there's nothing nothing else like it.
It is,
and that's
class.
I only had to have that one ride on
echelon
Taran.
shit.
It's just insane. It's so insane. But like, what I was gonna say, I forgot to say as well that we got an evac on Titatis.
Oh yeah.
I did post this in the group, but yeah, we got our last ride on Titatis on the Saturday, and basically we hit that first launch. Got to the end of it. I was next to, it was me and Dan, Digital Dan. Sam and Tom were in front of, and then Joe and Gemma are behind us. We hit it, and then we just started going, and then we just slowed down, and then we just slowly crept back.
That was so funny in the vlog because like everyone was so hyped. They were just like,
yeah.
So was that the launch out of the station?
Launch out the station. And
Okay.
then it's just funny because there's this French guy behind us just went,
"Oh yeah, yo, I was dying."
And then so we was on there for quite a while, and then they came and got us off, and then honestly, like I think like the ride hosts and stuff were like so confused as to why we were so happy, like because we were like, yes. That's my first proper evac.
That was us coming off Valhalla today. Like it stopped, and we were like, "Yes!" And it was like two girls in the back of the boat were like, "Oh!" And we were like, "Come on, evac!"
Yeah.
Do you remember that? Do you remember that small small period of time where Stealth was just throwing rollbacks like every third ride or something?
I was so tempted to go that day.
And everyone was coming back.
As soon as I found out, I was like, I can't get the time off to go. Yeah, but I so want to.
I really wanted to go. But no, we
It
got
did it
evac.
this season as well. First day,
Yeah,
it was.
yeah.
just-
It was like he was doing it for like the whole morning, weren't it? It was just like rolling back all morning.
But yeah, last year it was like a couple days where it was
Yeah, it
just
was,
constantly
The
rolling.
last season, we got a stoppage on Alice in Wonderland, and one of the ride hosts came up and was like, "I'm so sorry, guys." We were like, "No, this is fucking brilliant."
You got an evac on Alice in Wonderland.
And he was like, "You're gonna have to get off." We were like, "Sick." And we're like,
Yeah,
That's
so good.
mad. They charge for
The
that
staff
shit.
always apologise, like, "God, I'm so sorry," and we're like,
I was-
sweet.
I so wanted our Darren Brown
Oh.
breakdown to turn into an evac.
We were
They-
the closest you
They
could
were
possibly
considering
get.
it basically at the
Yeah.
point where you got it.
We
It
were
was like,
sat there for 20 minutes with without the VR on, and then they allowed us to do the end sequence in Darren Brown's Ghost Train without the VR on. So we
Yeah.
just experienced it, and that freaking thing moves, man. I didn't even realize how much it moves.
But look, with that
Yeah.
with that Tutatis evac, we got to walk down like the first launch, like on the decking, and we were like, "Are we the first?" Like I don't remember. It
Yeah,
going
I
down.
imagine
So I was
you
like, "Are
would
we
have
the
been.
first evacs on this?" And then we walked down it, and we went down. We went in out of this gate, and then we was like in the back area of the park, and it was like because it's obviously a brand new ride, all that it's just like immaculate around there. And it was just so funny just being there, and then we just got walked around and went straight back on. but it took about half an hour to 40 minutes to get back on. But like, honestly, I was like, this is the best ending to a day because like everyone was like watching us get evac'd and stuff on the bridges and stuff above, and I was just like, this is cool. Like,
I've always wanted an evac of 13 for some reason. I don't know why. I just always wanted it in the
in
crypt.
that
Did
build, in the crypt, that would be
That'd be
sick.
good.
Wouldn't it?
Did I tell you I got my first? It's funny that Two Titans was your first evac, like just period, and with Taran being your favorite coaster. Did I tell you I got my first evac on Taran?
Oh,
Where? Did you? Where?
High five.
Where was it? Where'd you get it off?
It was the break run, but like,
right at the back of the break run.
Yeah.
Right at the back of the break run.
Oh,
And
it
then
slammed
they
on
had
with
to-
it.
it overshot the break run basically.
Oh, right.
And then whole thing just got evac'd. It was a night ride, so it was flying. It was one of the best rides that we got on that trip.
Like,
Overshot
then
the
it-
brakes.
It overshot the
What was
I
the
think
turn
I
like
think
into it?
I think it over. Oh, it was folded, mate.
Yeah, I was gonna
Straight-
say. Fucking hell.
Straight
That's it.
folded, mate.
Zarja style.
That
Yeah,
little lat as well. It throws you that little lat, doesn't it, Taran, before that turn? It's like,
Yeah.
and
And then
gone.
just flings you
Did
into
they
the
like
fucking
the
Yeah,
staff
straight.
come to you and they were like, "We're so sorry, like we'll be with
Yeah.
you in a minute." And you're like, "Take your time, take your time."
I'm chilling, mate. I'm chilling.
It's
I'm
like,
I'm
be
just
really
vibing.
careful. I'm
I'm
really
fine.
sorry. You're gonna have to just walk down this 5-mile break run. I was
That's-
like, "Fucking yes, please."
That's what I want. I know. I know, Emma, you don't agree with this, but I want a big one evac on that lift because you don't have to wear a harness or anything. You can just walk down it. And
The
I was
train
like,
after
without
us the other
harness-
day.
Walking
got
down
stuck
is
on
the worst
mid-course.
part.
I love it.
They got
Oh,
stuck on
well,
the mid course.
I'd do that.
The train after us, and I was
Oh, yeah, I'd
like,
do
I
that.
reckon I could stomach it on the mid course, but then obviously the day after we rode it, it got stuck at the top, and I was just like, no.
I
You'd have to bring me a blanket, some sandwiches, because I'm not moving.
I kind of be good if it stalled, you know, where it's got because it's got the little catwalk, hasn't it, where the little trick track is around the back of Steeplechase. Is that it could stall there? That'd be a good one.
Yeah.
Wait, didn't it stall like last year? I think was it last year or the year before?
Yeah,
Sure,
it's
yeah.
last year. They had
last
some-
year.
they didn't-
Beginning of last
Yeah.
year was.
Oh, God,
Was
yeah,
it beginning of
yeah,
last
it
year?
is.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
forgot
was-
about-
I was
I forgot about
thinking
that.
then it did stall. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
What do you like
just
about rides?
Just to, well, I mean, like a lot of what I like about rides is you guys have already said. Like my thing, and it has changed over like recent years, like because due to certain rides, like I've said before, that like Lightning Rod is the ride that really showed me how much I value a sense of, not necessarily, it doesn't have to be doing like 70, 80 miles, 90, however, miles per hour and stuff, but just a sense of speed. Nemesis only does 50 miles per hour and it feels so fucking fast, right? So just like a sense of speed, a sense of aggression. I do like airtime, but like you said, Emma, like a sense of like airtime for the sake of airtime is just it's lost on me. It's pointless.
Yeah.
So like well placed airtime and airtime with purpose as well.
Yeah.
But then also thanks to Velocicoaster, thanks to Tiger, thanks to other coasters in my top 10, top 15, etc. Variation is so important to me as well. Like a really good and well thought out mix of forces and sensations. Like you see it on Icon, you see it on Copperhead Strike. Copperhead Strike is one of the best for it. Like you get really strong positives going right into hang time, and then
Are you a big?
good at-
I've never had this conversation, Mikhail, but are you a fan of Copperhead?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely,
you love it.
absolutely.
You like
Yeah,
it.
I prefer Icon, but
I've
I
heard
really
that.
like, and I mean, I have my rankings here. Copperhead Strike is just outside my top 40, but it's such a good time. Like it's not super intense. It's not super fast, but it's just every time I come off it, I'm just like, that is just so much fun. It's just such a fun ride.
That's good.
Yeah.
I really like it.
It just
And
looks
I
like it's
Icon.
like Hang Time the ride. That's what
Yeah.
it looks like.
Yeah.
Those are
It's like that
Hang
should be
Time, right?
that should have been called Hang Time and not not actual
Yeah.
Hang Time.
Yeah. Why? Why?
But no. I like Icon for a lot of the same reasons. Icon just paces a little bit better for me in the second half.
Yeah.
but yeah, like a really good mix of varying forces and sensations and different elements as well. This is why I like Velocicoaster's first half so much as well.
Yeah.
Because like people put it down to just being slow and stuff, and I don't think it's that. I think there's moments of really good sense of speed in there. There's moments of varying forces. There's strong positives going into the Immelman, and then you're getting flung out of your seat and almost impaled on the rockwork if you're in the back.
Yeah.
Like there's ejector airtime and lats. Like if you're in the front of the train, like when you go up into the dive loop, there's combinations of forces at times.
Then you get
like
flung as
yeah,
well.
it slows up for thematic and story based reasons, and then the sense of speed like returns. Like I think it does a lot in that first half that I don't think gets. It does get credit for, but like some people like put it down to just it being slow. And I say some people because I'm not just talking about you, Sean. I'm talking about other people as well.
I dig.
I've seen that. I've seen that from other people as well. But yeah, like good variation on and like well thought out variation. Tiger achieves it really well as well. I really rate those kind of rides that can combine that variation with a sense of that speed and aggression that is like a drug to me. Something like Zadra does that really well as well. It's not just airtime. There's a lot of different
that's why I like it so much.
Yeah. It's not just airtime. There's a lot of directional changes.
That's what I thought. When
a lot of different sensations in there as well.
When we did Aingwazi, I was like,
Helix.
I like it more than Zadra, but I knew I don't think you would like it more than Zadra, because it's like Zadra and Untamed in a way. Like it's like they've combined a little bit where you have the sense of speed still, but it's like riding a bucking bronco. Do you know what I mean? It's like you are just constantly out your seat. And
I think for me, the thing with Zadra is that it's kind of like disregarding the fact there's no theming or everything, but in terms of the ride, it's like the complete package for me because it's got mad pacing. You still got them good pops of airtime without making unnecessary pops of airtime.
Yep.
You've got mad forces, and it's just fun.
Yep.
But it still gives you everything you want from a coaster without overdoing it.
Without overdoing it on any one thing.
Yeah.
It's definitely the most rideable RMC I've done. I've only done 3, but like it's like Zadra is probably more rideable than Aingwazi. But Aingwazi, for me, I liked Untamed, for example, because I love that sense of like out of control, like just being popped out your seat. I do like that, but obviously,
and it's funny because like don't get me wrong when I say like airtime for the sake of airtime is pointless. I love that as well. Like I really like a good example over in the US of that is, and I say this one because it's my favorite of this kind of ride. Twisted Timbers at King's Dominion is a really good example of for whatever reason, like what we're talking about here. What you think is a hindrance to Untamed? It doesn't feel like too much on Twisted Timbers. For whatever reason, even though like they're like you watch a POV of it, it is kind of that. Like that's what it's trying to achieve. It is just airtime moment after airtime moment, but like it switches it up. There's off-axis hills in there, and just like outward banking sort of turns and stuff, and it I think it switches it up just enough for it to not get boring for me.
Yeah,
and I really like how it executes. It keeps its pace. It keeps its pace throughout the entire way. I prefer it to something like Storm Chaser at Kentucky Kingdom, which
that looks like my idea of hell.
Yeah, yeah. Like I think
my legs would not be happy after a ride.
Yeah, you would not enjoy Storm Chaser.
No, I'm really looking forward to doing Twisted Timbers.
Yeah, I think you'll like Twisted Timbers a lot
because to me that looks like something that I would like. Yeah, that's one of the big ones I'm looking forward to. If I'm honest.
Yeah. So yeah, like I do like that in the smaller RMCs. And just their strength of airtime in general, but if they can package that in amongst in amongst other elements and other forces and other sensations like Zadra does, then
Yeah.
I'm going
it
that
gives you
way
that
every
little
time.
bit of
Every time.
It just, don't get me wrong, I do like a bit of brutal airtime. I love Nash. You know what I mean? You can get some brutal airtime on Nash. I like it when it's spaced out. I just can't go. For example, I wonder how I'd get on Steel Vengeance with all them bunny hills at the
But
end.
it's-
I think
it's
I'd
not-
enjoy the ride, but the end would kill me off.
It's not even. It's not like you don't personally like that. It's just that your legs, your thighs don't like it. That's the problem.
I told you, when I get my American football pants, it's over.
She said it's over
I think
for
you
you
need to do that.
bitches.
That's the thing. Like you like when you did Condor the first time, you loved it, and then like once you did another one, you were like, nah, fuck that. Like I can't take it because that's more of like a physical. Like my body literally just can't take that sort of thing.
Problem of having twig legs.
What about you, James?
James, yeah,
haven't-
James.
We haven't heard your
What do you like
thoughts
in a
yet.
ride?
Obviously, as above mentioned, like good pacing, good forces, which I've experienced from Fly, but also like the entire kind of package with theming and experience.
Yeah.
And not just from when you're on the ride,
Yeah.
as you're going through the entire queue as well.
Mhm.
Not a huge fan of rides that have just cattle pen.
No.
Yeah.
The queue line that actually kind of takes you on a journey through an area, like even Nemesis does that.
Yeah.
It's no cattle pen, but you
See, that's
walk
the
around
thing,
the
like-
area and you have
Yeah.
progression towards that end goal.
Yeah, you don't mind a long queue if it's like
Yeah,
a nice.
if it's a cattle pen, hate long queues.
Yeah.
If I'm walking around, I could do a 2-hour queue.
Like Wicker Man, for example, like because you're in the ride area, like
Yeah.
Don't mind it.
you've got something to look at.
There's that
Yeah.
little
you
bit
know,
of cattle pen at the start,
Mm.
but that's not too
Yeah.
bad. That is bearable because you're
Yeah.
within the
yeah.
turn
Watching
of the.
Bob.
Yeah,
And,
you've got,
and
you've
also
got
the
whole
fences
turn
are
to look
quite
at.
high as well, so you're not literally just like next to like a load of people.
Yeah.
It's
But
like that
like,
with Taran. Like I waited
mm.
nearly 2 hours for Taran. Apart
Yeah,
from
Taran's
the
a weird queue.
extended queue line at the top,
Extended
where it does-
Oh,
attack,
bro.
die.
that was horrendous.
That's horrible.
No.
That
But the
goodbye.
rest of it,
That-
I
no.
stood in it for like an hour and a half in
Yeah, the
that
rest of
bit,
it,
and the
yeah,
way it
yeah,
meanders round was fine. I didn't feel
Yeah.
like I was stood still too long. You know, once you
Uh,
know, if there's a dispatching rides well, and you kind of shuffle a little bit at a time, you don't
Yeah,
mind
that-
being in a long
they-
queue.
They really dropped the ball on that extended queue
Oh, it's
because
horrendous.
it seems like they designed it to be like, oh, just in case, but it's like it's always
Oh,
in that extended bit
it's-
now. Like, it's,
Like
Well,
I was only in there for like probably about 10 minutes.
Yes,
Like, luckily when I actually went,
yeah.
but
Our first
the
ride on
week
it,
I
we
was there,
literally-
it's 20 degree heat, and
Mm.
it was like over 20 degrees. There's no shade in there.
no,
at
it's
certain
not.
times of the day. And if
But,
it's
um,
it's
pissing now,
nice with the
there's no
backdrop of
cover.
like the rock work, but
the
apart from
only time I've waited in it, they had it set up so obviously like you've got the cattle pens on either side. Once you get into that whole fucking space,
that,
it went. They had it set up so it went straight up to the top, like but still staying in the middle, and then straight back on itself.
That's
So like
I
I didn't have
I've
to.
gone the whole
I didn't have
9
to-
yards. It's
Oh,
horrendous.
that is
that's
something
fucked.
we-
Fucked.
that's something I love about Titatis as well. Sorry to keep banging on about it, but like
No,
Gemma
I
said
was
it-
I was gonna say
Gem-
that
yeah,
like from yeah. go on.
Gemma said it in my vlog as well. She was like, it was like there is no cattle pen whatsoever in that queue. Like it's all like weaves in and out of the ride area, and then when you get
Yeah.
into even when you get into the station, it's like you go into the station and then you separate off into what queues you want to go into. If you want
Right.
to go,
So there's something.
so with Titatis, you can choose whether to go back, mid, or you can go front line. So you've got that
Oh, okay.
option to go into different queues, which I love in Energylandia because I do that a lot in Energylandia.
So
back
like when you get up
is
into
awesome.
like into the actual load platform itself, like
Yeah.
not before you've gotten into the air gates, before you've chosen like what area what part of the train you're gonna sit on. What direction does the front row queue start? Because like from my vantage point, it's like you go up the stairs into the station, you make a right
Yeah.
turn, but then like it looked like
What's this?
the
stuff?
front row line for Tutatis.
Oh,
hidden.
The front row line wrapped itself around
station,
the
yeah.
top
The
of
front,
the
Yeah.
the
Do you want me to-
the
do you want me
line,
to
and
just
then
go-
come to the other
yeah.
side.
yeah,
Onto,
yeah.
that was mad
So-
confusing to me. Like it, like it
Yeah,
ran
so
around the queue line to
basically
get to the
you-
front.
You go into the station. You can go once you get around the corner, you go left if you want to go to the back end of the train. Or like, and then, or you go straight in front of you to go like mid train or mid to near front train. But then like the front row line is like hidden in the front, like near the mid to, you have to go in there and then you find the front row. Front queue, but then that wraps all the way around the building. It goes over the single rider line, which is the other side of the station. It's pretty mad.
Yeah,
But, like, yeah,
it was
it
well
goes-
complicated.
But it's a really long. Like we didn't have to wait that long at all for the front queue, but it's a
Yeah.
long line, so it's like they've anticipated that people will want to do it on the front.
Yeah.
Oh,
So it's
question.
really good. Yeah.
What did you think of the baggage hold situation? Because I feel for
Yeah.
them poor bastards have got to wheel them trolleys back and forth all day. I'm sorry for
Right.
them.
So I've got a few thoughts on this. It's not great if you have expensive equipment because like it's just a big massive
You
bucket.
just throw it in.
So you just
Yeah.
like throw your thing in, people like throwing their bags on top of it, but also it's kind of like it's an ingenious way of doing it very fast because you
Yeah.
don't have to step out of the train. You just basically get in there and they wheel
Plonk
the
it,
cart
yeah.
over to you and then just wheel it all the way down the queue.
Mm.
But then I'm like, I was watching him and I was like, but what if like one inexperienced host just like lets go of this trolley and it just lands into that track? I was like, it seems a bit mad. I don't
Just
know.
turns their back to it. It starts rolling. They don't even.
Yeah,
see
like
it.
I was
It
like,
just
I
Oh,
can
drops
see
in
this
the-
going
It just
wrong.
seems like they've
That's
gone
gonna be
all
on
out
TikTok
on
in about a
this.
year's time.
Yeah, it just seemed
Yeah.
to me like, it's all like really high tech and then they just
Yeah.
wheel a bucket. I just feel why have they done that?
Maybe
and
it's in
also, I
technical
hate the
rehearsal.
fact of
I mean, you've-
Oh, fuck off!
I can't remember what ride it is.
You
I
have
can't
to-
remember what ride it
maybe it's
is,
in-
but you
maybe
have
it's in
that
tech rehearsal.
train that goes over.
Oh yeah, that's
Oh,
like
yeah,
kind of this
you-
Wonderland.
you
and
got
stuff.
Striker.
Striker, yeah.
Yeah.
You
Why
can't.
couldn't they have the trolley things on Two Partis actually on a rail? It comes up and it just goes on
It's-
past your
it's-
train automatically.
it's a bit I get why they do it because it does
Funky.
speed up ops like that. Like they were getting 30-second dispatches on
Oof.
Tatis. Like it was
Wow.
insane. Like it was
Yeah.
mad. 30-second dispatches. They were so quick. They were rapid,
How many
and they were.
trains
But
do you have?
they were like they were polite about it. They weren't like stressy. It
Yeah.
didn't seem like a stressy situation. Like they were really like. Obviously, it's opening day, so they want to do that. But even on the Sunday, when it was like even busy on the Sunday, like they were just. It wasn't stressful at all. Like it is so obvious what we had to do. But yeah, it's just the only problem with it is once you put your baggage in there, they then wheel it out into the exit corridor. So you have to do a lot of digging for your bag. Like it's just that bit is mad because everyone's just crowded around this little thing. But
I
they
just
do-
think
around
that,
them.
like, could you imagine, like, you're working at Park Asterix and they're like, yes, you're going to be on this brand new coaster, you're going to be on Two Tatties, so
Yeah.
you're really fucking hyped. And then you get there and they go, right, Bob, you are on bag trolley duty today. You are going to just do this all day. and move
it,
your
just,
trolleys around."
it was kind of funny. The only thing I could think about when they was doing it was like, like Harry Potter, like anything for the trolley, dear. Coming down with his little trolley, and you're just like, yes, I'll just have that. There you go.
I would like to hope they rotate around the
Need cheddars.
positions. at
Yeah.
Could
Two
you imagine
Tatties.
that? That's on par with working at Blackpool Pleasure Beach and getting there and being put on fountain duty. That's what it comes to for me.
Yeah.
I'd get there and I'd be like, for fuck's sake. Right.
And then getting a video taken of you, like looking like you're pissing into the fountain.
Every
basically.
Saturday.
That's someone's-
by
that's
some
someone's
silly
granddad.
lady called Gemma.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
Yeah, the one that causes chaos on Icon.
Disgusting,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm joking, Gemma. I love you, really.
But it was, but no, it was, it was weird, but I do get why they do it. It makes that loading process so much quicker rather than everyone jumping
Yeah.
over.
If it works, it works. But
Yeah.
it just seems to me like they've
But-
just gone backwards in
It just
time.
seems a bit primitive,
but-
doesn't it?
Yeah.
But the thing is, they do the same thing on Osiris, and it works on there. So I think maybe they saw that and was like,
Park
"Well,
wide
it works.
thing.
It works on Osiris." Like,
Yeah, like
but,
let's not waste extra money on some high tech
Yeah.
system. This
But then,
clearly
like,
works.
all the other coasters in the park is like bags on ride. Like,
Yeah, don't you have to say your
Gudric's,
bags on
Vekoma.
Gudric's?
Yeah, like Vekoma.
Did you
like-
hold on to your bags for dear life?
Mate, I just wrap it. I wrap it around.
Wrap
I do
it
this
around
like,
your
just
leg.
wrap around my leg. But it's not going anywhere, is it?
Oh my
let's be
God,
honest,
yeah.
it's literally
Um,
not going anywhere.
Hyperspace Mountain, you have to do that on.
Yeah.
I do that on
Disneyland
Nash.
Paris.
Like, I'll put my bag on the floor and then I'll wrap my leg around the strap.
That is a
just to
that
get
is a
it.
thing
that-
at Disney. I had to do that on Rock and Roller
Colorado
Coaster
Adventure.
at Disney.
Yeah, I did it on Flight Force as well. It's just weird.
The first time I experienced that was at Efteling with Python, and I was like, I was literally having an argument with this Dutch person where he, like, I was just like, it goes upside down. I was like, they're like, no, it's fine, it's fine. I'm like, no, it goes upside down.
But it's not though, is it?
Don't want to be thinking about my bag when I'm in a loop. You know what I mean?
And they're like, no, it's fine. So I kind of got used to it, but
Yeah.
like all the other coasters in the park except for Osiris and Tutatis. I think
Can you imagine
because
having to do it on Osiris?
mate, it would not
Just
work.
got your
Would
tongue
it? Let's be
dangling in
honest.
Hold it in
between
front
your
of
legs.
Well,
Like a
Tutatis,
scare
I
maze
think that's the thing
walkthrough.
with Tutatis. Like, there's too much ejector to be able to take a bag on it. So that's probably the only reason why.
Yeah.
But
Could
all
you
the other
imagine just
coasters-
backpacks flying off everywhere? Like,
It'd be
But
like
also,
the sick test dummies.
yeah. It's mad though at like Park Asterix. Like, it's a bit like Disney. Like, they don't care about you filming it whatsoever.
yeah,
like,
it didn't look like it either. Like
People going around with their phones out, like they just do not care.
No,
Like,
bro.
they're just like, you're what? Wow.
All right. All
It's
right.
mad.
Just to bring it bring it back to the conversation because I know you wanted this done in an hour. But
we're getting there.
yeah, no, the like one of the main reasons why I was thinking about this topic is because I was thinking about what people really look for in like their favorite coasters now versus what they did in like the 90s and early 2000s. I feel like it's changed so much from both a guest point of view, both enthusiast and general public, and a park point of view as well.
Yeah.
Like the whole Coaster Wars thing back in the 90s and early 2000s was hyper focused on like height records and speed records and
Nice,
length
lots of
records and
stuff.
stuff like that, and that's what sold from a marketing standpoint. That's what everyone was fixated on. And I want to do the tallest and fastest coasters, and like and parks were like, we want the tallest and fastest coasters so we can bring people to the park and stuff. Parks don't focus on that stuff anymore, and like it's just really interesting to me because like what we like and what we like the most and what parks like kind of go hand in hand for different reasons. And now like parks have such a much bigger focus on just creativity of layout, the execution of theming and story, and like especially for coasters as well. Now like coasters are becoming so much more overall themed attractions now than they used to be back then. I feel like there's a few different reasons. I don't know how you guys feel about it. I feel like there's a few different reasons that have contributed to that, and I think we're getting higher quality overall coaster attractions because of it as well.
I feel like it's telling, because every time I do a new coaster, I'm like, I'm like, that's amazing, but I don't know where it fits into my top 10, because I just feel like I feel like everything consistently is just good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I feel like it's so much harder to rank
Yeah.
coasters
That's why
now than it
yeah.
was back then, because they're so nuanced.
Very.
Mm.
Like they're so more intricately nuanced because we value so many more different things now,
Yeah.
rather than
Because we've been
just
given
how
new things.
tall it is, how fast
Yeah.
it is, and all of that.
Yeah,
That's why I find it so
it's
interesting.
like the variables is like
Yeah.
the small little variables. Is
Yeah.
It's for me. I'm like,
The
okay,
tiniest things can
on
change a whole
paper,
ride.
Fly should not be my second favorite coaster. It shouldn't be. Like, it literally
Yeah.
shouldn't be.
Yeah. I
It's a
felt like that.
Vekoma. It's a flying coaster. But like the variables of it is that it's got a banging soundtrack that I just love and I listen to every single day.
Yep.
The theming is like top level,
Mhm.
and it's just to me with Fly, for example, it is that kind of that it's the same thing with Nemesis, where it's just like so low to
Zero.
everything, and
Yeah.
the near misses and everything, and
It's all surrounding you. It's going above you. It's
It's
beside
got-
you. It's below you.
it's not even the
Talk about
coaster's great.
time at the right moment.
Yeah, it's like it's like the coaster's great, but it's about everything else that surrounds it, So
Yeah.
it's we're gonna get into that situation. And I think even with Tatatis, the coast is great, but then it's all these little things like the station dispatch with the sound and the lights,
Yep.
and then like going through the launches where you've got like all the walls, the rock work.
Mhm.
We're getting down to the smallest of variables now that actually
Yeah.
make something stand out against something else.
I agree.
A contributing factor to that is just like parks just straight up not having the money to be able to go higher and higher and higher, unless you count that one over there in the Middle East. But these kind of coasters are just like obviously it's simple. Like the taller you get, like the more surface area usually the ride's going to take up, and the more expensive it is and stuff.
Yeah,
and then the more expensive it is to maintain and all of that.
But like, I wonder. I don't really know much about Park Asterix, for example. I don't know about how many visitors they bring in a year. Like, I'm guessing it's quite a lot because of its situation, like just outside of Paris and stuff. But it's not going to be anywhere near as like Disneyland Paris. Do you know what I mean? Whereas the theming is so like comparable
on par. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like the park wide, but then this new area, like they've got all these like. All the places you could, the quick serves in Park Asterix, like themed food everywhere, and they've got multiple people at the stations, and you look at how big the detailing is, and you're like, they've spent so much money on this
and
area.
then like the contribution to world building, the little messaging on the rocks and stuff, like the little hints to the characters and all of that stuff, the like, real tiniest details that really
they go in. It's almost like when
root you in the
it's like when Taron first opened, and we're like, oh my god, how much they spend on them lanterns? You know what I mean? Handmade,
yeah.
And it's like no one would do this, and then it's like, wow, actually, there's more and more parks now, especially in Europe, that are like, we need to go to this level.
Yeah,
and it's paying off for them. Like if Phantasialand are just keep going for it, for example, like they've done Taron. I bet they went way over budget on Taron than they thought they was going to go, but then they were like, well, this works, so now we'll do Rockberg.
So again, I'm not even sure they set a budget for that one.
No,
they just went, the ride's going to be this much.
Yeah.
Let's match the area cost for the ride.
Yeah.
How much can we pack into this tiny area? Because that's really their only limitation.
Yeah.
Is how little space they have.
Which is, it's crazy to me because it feels like such
a better,
like bigger park than Thorpe. It's smaller than Thorpe.
Yeah. It's all the steps.
Yeah.
There is a lot of steps.
Anyway, guys, we have got to wrap up this podcast.
Yeah, we have to stop talking at some point.
We have to. Yeah, we'll next week.
It's so funny. It seems whenever you say that you want it to be like an hour or an hour and a half.
That's every week, man. That's every week.
It's when we have our longest episodes.
I don't mean to brag though, Sean, but when you went to Phantasialand, we were well done in an hour and a half. So
we were, yeah.
It's down to you, not us.
I'm just so interesting. That's why I'm so interested. I bring a lot to the table. That's what happens.
Next week is going to be interesting because we'll be talking about the ECC trip, right?
No, you'll be on it.
We'll be on it. We won't be
next. It will still be in Sweden.
I don't think next week is going to happen because we'll all be here.
It'll only be me and Mikhail just having a great old time. So.
And none of you know how to work StreamYard, so yeah, we'll have to.
Oh, damn it!
So we won't be back.
That was because of your garden centre comment.
She's going to be sat there tonight with a brandy, just cursing the shit out of everyone.
As long as it's Bent's garden centre, which is the posh one, she'll be like,
I said it's like Bent's. It's a little bit fancy, but it's still enough.
Bent's is a day out in it for us.
They've got crazy golf now. It's great.
What?
That's
like dinosaur golf.
Fucking hell.
That's like Dobbies. That's like Dobbies around by us. The posh
Dobbies.
Yeah, Dobbies.
I really want to go to
Lisa. Not that Dobby.
Yeah, man. Helix. Finally.
You will get Mikhail go. We'll go on our own. Mikhail, fuck the rest of them. We'll go.
I'm down. Let's do it.
Sorry. Emma McCall, like when we come back from Lisaberg, that podcast is going to be just like annoying.
I'm here for it. I'll be asking hella questions. Don't you worry.
I'll be.
I'll just be
I
eating
hope
some
I love
cheese
Helix.
and
Been
you'll be on
waiting so
mute.
long.
Mm.
I want some cheese. That's not fair. Right, let's go. Let's go.
All right, let's go. All right, thanks everyone. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time. See you later, everyone.
Bye.
See you later, guys.
Bye. Bye. Thank you. Bye.